Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to Kerrash Landing, the Elite Dangerous Community Show, and Happy New Year to everyone, all my regular followers, and everyone joining tonight. I do apologise if you are struggling to hear my voice. As you can tell, I'm not well at the moment, but I wanted to make my regular Friday slot as normal, so thank you very much for Commander Human there. Thank you for hosting me. Well, I think you're hosting me by now. Thank you. And nice to see everyone in the chat. Some regular names there. Dobbo, Happy New Year, Dobbo. Saturnine, DJ Tarjan, Commander Jan. Nice to see you all there. Rygar, Commander Rygar. I hope you're home safe and Happy New Year to you, sir. Yes, as you can tell, I have been squeeing way too much. In fact, I've completely lost the entire high part of my voice, so there will be no squee tonight. I'm sorry, there will be no squee, but we can have fun anyway. If the game is too loud and you are struggling to hear me, then please let me know. I'll go ahead and adjust the volume slightly. In fact, I think I might just do that now, so I can hear myself. So yes, how is everyone? How was their Christmas and New Year? It does seem like a while, because obviously I didn't stream Christmas night. That would be a bit of a bad thing to do, you know, and I've got the kids desperately wanting help putting their Lego sets together and playing their board games and things, but yes, I had a wonderful time. I hope you all did as well. Steal the squee intro. Yes, I've actually, obviously that video of me squeeing was something I recorded for Tony, for him to play on the stream. I don't know if everyone's seen Fiery Toad play that. Yes, that is my face on Fiery Toad's stream. So I recorded that little video clip for it. I really should dredge it out of my files and bring it up when I can't squee. Happy 3302, yes, absolutely. And it's going to be an interesting year, lots and lots of things coming into Elite Dangerous this year. And the Horizons is just the beginning. We all know that obviously 2.0 is what we have today. 2.1 is just around the corner, hence why I have forgone the ship for tonight. I'm just taking it easy, just doing a little bit of buggying, because 2.1 is the next big thing, you know, because everyone's, of course everyone's done with 2.0, now we want 2.1, when's the next update? We always want the next big thing. But no, of course, the first big update I think is coming this year, we can now say this year, is going to be the looting and crafting system, which is going to completely change the way you think about modules and things. All the various modules in your ship, you can make custom versions of them and upgrade them and patch them and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be really interesting. Commander Human, pizza time! Well, I'm glad I could give you a break, my friend, so you could get some food in. DJ, oh, Sandro said it's 2.1, yes. Again, the problem is I forget what I can say and what I've heard and where the line is drawn. Like I said, I'm not feeling great at the moment. I'm all blurry-headed. I've had various forms of medication. Here, I got these Moxie. Yes, I'm on the various forms of medication, trying to keep it at bay. I left it a little too long, I think. It is not New Year's Eve, New Year's hangover, honestly. I generally have got something pretty nasty, but hey, I guess I should look after myself a little better. Bit of bump there. Saturnine, you feel, yeah, a bit of a storm coming from on the forums for regular Elite Dangerous players, was the whole crafting system is not fair. To be fair, they could change the color scheme of the HUD and there would be a rant on the forum about it, to be fair. I think that's the problem, is a lot of people which are passionate about various parts of the game, so there's always going to be a difference in opinion on how things are going to work, and that's fine. I think it's absolutely healthy and, you know, the right thing to do to have an open forum where you can talk about these things and discuss these changes. I think the only issue I've ever had with anything on the internet is people can't do it in a civil way. You know, if you could just respectfully present your opinion without having to go at someone and explaining reasons why you think your opinion is right and whatever else you're seen is wrong. Maybe suggest some alternatives, something like that. Anyone where I've ever seen something done like that is usually taken seriously, and the guys at Frontier will take that on board. And we've seen it happen. I mean, there was things like the very early on when the SRVs were introduced, the fuel was considered to be a bit of a problem, and the fuel tank was too small. And I believe it was Nats. Was it Nats, right? Was when it wrote a pretty conclusive forum post, which was going to, kindly and respectfully asking, could we have something to make that a bit more fair? And it was balanced in the next patch. And conversely, I think the day before there was someone put a forum post up, which was pretty much just a ranty, shouty, "You guys are idiots, you made the tank too small, what the hell are you doing?" And surprise, surprise, that one got pretty much ignored. It's all about how you present your point of view. I missed that bit. So I managed to make it through to about 3 or 4 a.m. on the 24-hour live stream, which is in the newsletter. We'll bring that up in a second. I managed to make it about 3 or 4 a.m. and then I just totally crashed and burned. I was dead on my feet at that point. So tip my hat to Mr. Lewis for doing that wonderful, wonderful 24-hour live stream. I believe we cracked the £23,000 mark at the end of that. So. Right on, Commanders. Everyone who contributed to that. It was really, really worthy cause. In case you didn't miss it, that entire charity thing which was running was for raising money for Special Effect. They're a great charity. It's kind of like Make-A-Wish Foundation for games and technology, that kind of thing. I also teased the Mamba. See, that's the great thing. I mean, Elite has such an interesting history in the lore behind the game. There's so much they could draw on from new. I don't think there's ever going to be a lack of new content, new ships and things like that, because they could always go back and bring one of the original designs. I would love to see the crate. I absolutely would love to see the crate brought back in. I think David remarked before that its design was too small to fit in anywhere at the time being. But maybe as a ship launch fighter it would be perfect, something like that, without an FSD drive. Not seen it. There was no news now today, Commander Jan, but there was one earlier on in the week. I suspect everyone has read it by now, but I will try and pop it up on the screen for everyone now. Tails the Gamer is the squee guy. Yes, except I have lost my squee. As you can hear, my voice is wrecked. It is totally wrecked today, but damn it, I am gonna stream anyway because it's 33:02. It's a new year, and I'm not gonna let these things get me down. Although I may just park up briefly and bring up the newsletter. Icefire, any reason why the stream is choppy? Let me check. I've got no drop frames or anything this end. In fact, I'm hoping from now on for you folks the stream should be a lot better generally for most of you, because for Christmas I got loads of new parts. Yay! I finally upgraded my CPU and everything. And that's one thing I wanted to bring a point up, because I noticed some forum threads this week. Since the release of Arise, there's actually a lot of people remarking about the performance of the game, particularly on the surface of the planets. Now I'm going to put the FPS counter up for you guys. We're getting somewhere between 60 and 54 frames per second at the moment. It depends on the content which is on the game, but I must admit, since upgrading my CPU, I've got exactly the same graphics card in my system, exactly the same hard drive, but since upgrading my CPU, it has massively improved the kind of variation of my frames. I'm now seeing a much tighter FPS. It's all around the 55 to 60 frames per second mark. It doesn't really dip below that. It doesn't wildly jump up and down, which it was doing on my older CPU, which was probably causing you guys a lot of frame hitches on the other end of the stream. But yes, I mean, if you are suffering problems like that with Horizons, any kind of performance issues like that, it's worth checking that every part of your machine reaches the minimum requirements, not just your graphics card. Gone are the days where just your graphics card are the only important thing, I think. Xmas sweater. Yeah, let's bring up the newsletter. Let's go through the newsletter tonight. See if I can get this over on the screen. Yeah, so as we were just saying there, oh, I've lost my camera. Where am I? Here I am. Hi. Yes, so we had the 24-hour live stream there, which was kicked off with David as the first guest. I think David came in to congratulate Ed at the end of it as well, which was really nice to see. Ooh, let's see if I can reach. No, so yeah, that was really, really fantastic. And I said, oh, over £25,000 it got to with it. Yes, excellent. That's a nice round figure. I like that, including the gift aid, of course. I forgot about the gift aid on there, which was nice. So congratulations, that was really nice. Thank you for everyone who joined in on that. It was great fun. It was nice to kind of chat to everyone through the wee hours of the morning. As poor Ed was flagging around that sort of time and starting to go a little bit crazy around 2 AM, but it was great fun. I'll try and drink as much as I can tonight. Revian, greetings, Commander. I apologise for my voice. It's wrecked. It's absolutely wrecked at the moment. Sorry, I missed a couple of questions. Let's just shoot back up. The Snake Man PMC. Yes, this is regular Crash. Regular Crash stream. Unfortunately, my regular voice is gone. Yeah, Dubbo, that's a good point actually. When we have the ship launched, I say ship launched fighters, but I think for me that's a bit of a very tight definition of what that might be. I like the idea that you can have the things like the lifter, even just teeny tiny little things that you could drop out for a purpose. You know, something you can go to surface sites. If you have one of these bigger ships, you don't have to risk landing on a 6G world with an Anaconda or a Corvette or something. You can just take your little one down. It doesn't need FSD, but it can do little things. I like the idea of that. More possible. Sorry, just where was that? Say the Thargoids or the drones being launched by a being much larger than this? I don't know about that, but of course, I mean, the way that the Thargoids used to work in the original game was you had the big motherships and you launched out the little fighter ships as well. So it's all part of that framework, isn't it? So what's that? Fresh groups. You need to get around to upgrading your 2500. Yeah, I mean, I literally jumped from a original generation, first generation Core i7 920 up to a 6th generation chip. It is made a huge difference just overall to every part of my computer. Really improved every single part of it. Now, this is one thing I really must give a shout out to. There are a lot of the original backers, and myself included, will feel just fond memories of this particular thing, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I must say, tip my hat to Commander Fusion, Sharpshifter, Noz9, Simmer and Vonner. Some of those guys are regulars in the chat here, and they've done a fantastic job of recreating the Frontier League 2 intro. I'm going to go ahead and try and get that to play for you guys now. Again, if the volume is off, then please let me know. Bum, bum, bum. We've got to have the music going. Oh, there we go. But yeah, this is a fantastic thing. This is it really? I think that's going to play. Yeah, so I was chatting to Zach on the day that they released this, and he mentioned, could we get a picture-in-picture version? Oh, I did buffer this. It shouldn't be buffering for you. So we got the picture-in-picture version on here, which Commander Fusion put together. Yay! Oh, so many memories from that music. Oh, and it's just not gonna play properly. I'm not sure if it's gonna play properly for you folks. See, I've pre-buffered this, but it's just not gonna do it, is it? Just roll it back a second. No, it's not. My computer is obviously catching things from me, but yeah, fantastic. I mean, you can see the correlation between the two videos. They've done a fantastic job of keeping the two elements almost exactly in sync, which is really, really nice. Of course, we don't have the atmospheric planets to land on, but we do have some fantastic vistas on these planets as well, which is really, really nice. DJ Targent, I would not like to estimate the number of hours I spent on Elite 2. It was literally my entire childhood, I think. It was a fantastic game. Still is by any account. I mean, going back to it, looking at it now, and you realise there is still so much you can do in there, which is fantastic. Fresh Queeblets, I hope I'm pronouncing that probably. Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, Elite was very much a game that came out in the UK and was very much UK focused. There were people over the world that got it, but it wasn't as widespread in the other countries. And it's nice to see it's getting the recognition in now with the latest game, which is cool. Yes, the Imperial Courier should have been. Yeah, obviously it didn't quite have the same shape, did it? I mean, that was one of the debates when Elite Dangerous got the new Imperial Courier. It just did not look the same as the old ship. So obviously the guys have gone for the Clipper because it looks more like the original ship. See, the choreography between that is really, really cool that they managed to get it done. And this is something I kicked off the idea for this, I think, probably a year or more ago. I said, yeah, we've got to be able to do this. As soon as we can land on planets, well, could we do this? Could we do this? But I've just been too busy to kind of organise anything to do it. So I'm so pleased that these guys got together and did this for us, which is really, really, really cool. Ah, Simmer, speak of the devil. Yes, there's some fantastic members of the community who put together this wonderful tribute video on here, which just brings back the nostalgia in spades. Shattenray, I am not really feeling my best. I've completely lost all of my squee. It's just gone. It's gone. No, you can never take away my squee. I might be able to withhold my voice, but never my squee. Boom. Love it, love it. I've got to play this through. Awesome video. And I love there's some subtle little things at the end as well. The credit roll at the end, which has got some nice little touches in it. Commander Jan, you fly the Clipper a lot too. I really need to get one and play with one. I think I've kind of, once I got to the Anaconda, I've just been working hard on training and things like that, but not really doing as much with the other ships. I really need to get some of the other ships because they look awesome, I must admit. Hey, I got the pronunciation right. That's a first for me. There we go. So I just want to pause it there. So congrats to all those guys that have done this. It's a wonderful, wonderful reproduction of the intro. It was awesome. Simmer, the hardest part was trying to fly past the capital ship. Yeah, I can imagine that thing was risky. Happy New Year, Goglu. Thanks for coming in tonight. Sorry for my voice. It is pretty wrecked at the moment. Oh, DJ, you're flying around in the cutter. Yeah, I played a lot with the cutter in beta. It was great fun to fly. I was kind of worried about bringing it down to the planet surfaces and things like that because it's a big, heavy ship. Yeah, here's the nice little thing. I like a 3D shape design for Frontier Developments. I like that. Nice little touch recognition to the old game there. But yeah, fantastic video, and I'm so pleased that was done. Really did was the highlight of the newsletter for me, absolutely. Let's jump back into the game. So I'm doing something silly tonight because I don't feel much like getting into combat or anything else. Oh, going AFK. Thank you, Fresh Quillets. See you soon. Oh, there's a crater there. Stop looking at the chat for a second. There we go. Murwas, you like the laggy video, makes you feel like you're doing the game. Oh, you're getting the Super Cruise bug on AMD. Yeah, Moose 666, so yeah, is right. There is a driver update in the works, and it's working its way through the AMD team at the moment. Unfortunately, not something that Frontier have got a great deal of control over. It's just a case of trying to get it through that whole kind of QA process with AMD and everything. So fingers crossed that will fix it soon. I know that's affected quite a few people. So yeah, tonight I'm taking it easy. I am buggying across the surface, and I'm just heading towards this base because I can. Why not? Because when I landed here, I landed right next to the Nixon Enterprise here, which is now 100 kilometers behind me. And I saw this one was actually, you know, a few hundred kilometers away. It wasn't a crazy distance, and I thought, well, I'm going to try and drive between the two bases. Do you know what? Because I can. No other reason. There's no mission for it. There's no goal. There's no credit reward at the end. No crazy incentive like that. It's just because I can and I want to. That's the whole point. If people haven't understood that that's the point of Elite by now, I don't think they're going to get it. It is about setting your own goals, making your own challenges, doing wonderful things, even things like that. Making that introduction video. That is something that you just set that challenge in your mind. Like, could we do that? Is it possible to do it? Let's give it a go. That's what the game's about. What have we got? Is that alright? Yes. See, I got spot these things almost instinctually now. Might as well collect some. Nothing good there. And going back to what we were saying about the materials on the surface, like I said right at the start, people were saying about the fuel was too difficult to find. I have now got so many materials, I don't know what to do with them all. I've literally got like at least one of everything. You know, I've got loads. Oh, what have we got over here? So I've got to the point now where I'm throwing away the abundant and common elements and just trying to find the really, really rare and epic stuff. Oh, sorry, I'm going to catch up on the chat there. Oh, DJ Targent. Oh, you're on the metamaterials hunt, are you? Unfortunately, I've not really had much chance to get involved in that. I've not been able to play the game much over the Christmas period. We've had lots to do, obviously, with my family. So, let's see if I can home in on that there. There's one over here somewhere. So I approach that crater. It's over here somewhere. I love the fact that you have to use the sound on the... I tend to use the sound more than the actual the scanner itself, to be honest. What have we got? Germanium. That's pretty good stuff. I'll grab some of that. Sort out my power distribution was out. Anyone seeing stuttering in the vid? You could try giving it a refresh, F5, Commander Jan, if you're still having issues. Like I said, I've got 0 drop frames over here. The upload's pretty solid, so... Tails to Gamer, yes, no squee, but SRV! That's about as much as I can strain my voice. The stream must go on. Absolutely. There it is, it's alright again. Anything good? Oh, that's what we want. That's the good stuff. Stick. Germanium, might as well grab that. Now, oh, see, I'm completely full. I'm going to have to throw something away in there. Now, obviously, the reason why I'm going for this stuff is because you've got germanium there, is good for the 25 and 50% bonus hyper jump distance, but I'm looking for these things: arsenic, niobium, yttrium, and polonium. This is the stuff I'm looking for, and I found some on this planet. So hopefully we can explain a little bit of the prospecting stuff tonight, if anyone is interested in how the prospecting works. What have I got? I could probably do with a refuel, so... What's that? Oh, I haven't got any mercury left. Or technetium. I'm not sure if I found technetium yet. We've got enough for a refuel. Yeah, so anyone who says that they can't find enough of these materials, look at my screen. I literally cannot fit in any more materials. I'm throwing stuff away. I won't do a mad dog now. Moose 666, yeah, actually, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Yes, there's a 3-2-1 rule on every planet. They've got three common. Sorry. So I've been calling them abundant, common, and rare. But yeah, 3 common, 2 rares, and 1 very rare. So yeah, so if you look at the elements, let's go over this now. So you can see these ones here. So the grey down the side there is the rarity value. There's 1, 2, 3, and I've got some 4s at the bottom here, little leaves, almost little leaves. So it's the rarity value of the particular elements. Planets tend to have like all of the most common ones. They're just so abundant, you see them everywhere. But yeah, there's it will have 3 of one type, 2 of the other type, and if you find them on that planet, then they always will be on that planet. So make a note of any planet that has a particular element which is useful for you, which is one you want. Like I said, this one's I found polonium on this planet, so I know there will be more of it. Ethereal amethyst. It's a buggy. I know it's a buggy. You have 80 plus frames per second with sweet effects on as well. Pretty cool. Cool. Commander Jan's lost 9,500 frames. I've got 0 at this end, so they're getting lost in transmission. Curse the dreaded internet. Demons stealing all your frames. Yeah, that's the annoying thing with the internet, is it was never designed for the kind of things we use it for today. Mass broadcasting and all that. Oh, GoGlue, you run it 2560 by 1080. Cool. I'm running this at standard 1080 at the moment. I'm getting, like I said earlier on, still a solid 60 down on the surfaces. But I find it really does stress all elements of your system, the game. It works differently to a lot of other games where most games tend to be GPU bound in virtually all cases. A lot of the stress and strains we put onto the GPU, just the way that the Cobra engine works, where there's a lot of procedural generation going under the hood, means that the CPU is being stressed a lot more than it would be in other games. There's a lot of work happening on the CPU side. And I've noticed that, I mean, even in things like Task Manager, like I said, upgrading from my old CPU to the new one, I've noticed that the game is now spreading its workload a lot more evenly across all of my cores from my machine, which seems to be giving me better consistency of my frames as well, which is pretty good. Sky Manic, yes, I've got it on very good word of mouth that the game could go all the way up to 16K if you could get a monitor to run it on, directly from David Braben himself. I think that was, it's not last year anymore, that was the year before last, 2014, when I was in E3, we were talking about that. And my favourite little thing I like to point out was he told me that all of the posters and images we had on the wall were all captured in engine, and they were scaled so high that they had to be scaled down so that the printers, the print company could put them onto the posters for us. Their machines couldn't handle the size of the screenshots. Happy New Year, Voluntar. Nice to see you then. Fiery Toad is here. 32K. Yes, you're right, Toad. Yes, sorry, it's 32K. I'm not with it. A Happy New Year to you, Toad. I'm sorry I disappeared on your stream last night. Internet is getting on my nerves at the moment. It is dropping out left, right, and centre, and I'm thinking it might be time for a new ISP this year. I'm not going to mention any names. Everybody knows who the worst ISP in the UK is. They own everything. But yeah, I've had some really, really annoying dropouts on my internet, which is frustrating to say the least. Elavric, Happy New Year. Mike Snoz. No, I've not been eating peanut butter, Snoz. I've obviously eaten something which is disagreed with me. Where is it? There it is. What have we got? Ooh, phosphorus and urban. We'll have both of those. Yoink. Have some of that. Thank you very much. Have we got run out of space? Yes, we've run out of space again. See what I mean? We don't need all this space. The ISP that rhymed with walk walk, yeah, they're not very good either. But the one I'm thinking of is pretty much the same. It rhymes with a friendly alien that just wanted to phone. Thargoid. I've got a Thargoid in my throat, yes. Toad has a golden rod. Oh my. As George Takei might say. Oh my. So this is when everyone gets me to say things they can, to get a snippet of video up later on to get me to quote things in a stupid voice. Merwaz, no, you don't need to scan to find materials. As was set up, I think it was Moose 666 set up at the top there. Each planet has 3 categories where you can have elements in. So you have 3 of the common elements, 2 of the rare elements, and 1 of the very rare elements. Once you've found one of those materials on that planet, you know that that planet will always have those kind of materials on it, so make a note of it. This one in particular, in the notepad of doom we have on here, you can see you can't play Elite without a notepad. You have to have a notepad. I know for a fact that this planet will have arsenic, germanium, niobium, and polonium, which is 3 of the core elements that I need for the premium FSD injection, which is what I want. I want to save up the materials for this. I've got enough for 2. I can do 2 big 100% jumps. And I know there's another couple of planets on there. So that's what you... Once you go onto a planet, you find a couple of samples, make note of the samples that you find on the surfaces, and then you can start to find the planets which have the best collection of materials on. This one is pretty good, and it's Shinata Desert. Nice and easy. It's within the bubble. So you can go and gather up all the materials first, and then take them out with you on an exploration trip, which is what I'm planning to do. Thanks, Toad. Yes, Toad's put some good links in there. Buffalo Grind. I apologise if my voice is quite... I'm kind of losing it at the moment. This is not my regular voice, honestly. And, I'm not doing a soul singer's voice or anything. Here, baby. You better get back in the kitchen. I got a sneaking suspicion. No, this is not my regular voice. My regular voice is usually a lot more high-pitched and energetic, as I tease and hint of upcoming features in the game. The tease is still there, unfortunately the voice is not come along with it. Toad knows, yes, absolutely. Toad and I have shared lots of hints and secrets on finding materials on planets. Oops. Oh. In fact, I better decide which of these things I can throw away, and I've got kind of one of these things left over. I mean, the main reason I kept one of each material is just so I could show people on the stream, but I think I'm going to have to throw some of these things away. I wanted to keep one of each material just because I like collecting things. That's the problem. Yeah, you're right, Toad. I've borrowed someone else's voice for the stream. Chef from South Park. Hey there, children. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to throw some of this stuff away. So, see, I don't need this. I'm not planning on making explosive or large caliber munitions. Let me check that away. Tin. Again, tin. I mean, tin's useful for an AMD refill. AMD, AFM refill. Let's have a look at what I can do with that. I've got enough for 5 of those. Tin. See, bonus repair speed I'm not too worried about. It's more, when you're out exploring, it's more of a case of have you got enough in your AFM. So chromium, vanadium, zinc, I don't really want to throw any of that away. A faint green glow. Yeah, I did notice. I don't know if this is still doing it. Yeah, see, I've got a little bit of flickery green screen. I had problems with the green screen earlier on. For some reason, the lighting is not right again. It seems to be, if I turn it on about 20 minutes before I stream, it kind of warms up and it's not too bad. But if I turn it on and then try and set up the green screen straight away, it's like it's just not quite right. So I really need to. That's something I want to try and do this year is get the green screen to a state where it's better and more consistent. Again, it's been frustrating me for a while. Hopefully, now that Christmas is out of the way, oh, maybe I can concentrate. There we go. Maybe I can look into the sales and get some proper bits and pieces for the lighting rig. D-Day Targent, finish this sentence. Somebody else's cock, of course. That's. Oh, that was a fun time, I must admit. Again, that was really, really great fun. So thank you to Mad Dog for setting that up. It was fun, wasn't it, Toad? It was great fun. Shanray, oh no! Crash has lost his screen. Just like Austin Powers. I've lost my mojo. I have a green hue in general. Yeah, actually, I might be able to adjust that now. Probably tempting fate by screwing around with it. But let's have a quick look, see if I can. No. Oh, if I do that, I get a purple glow. Oh, I don't want to be doing that. This is where the green screen. Whoa, the green screen goes totally off the wall when I do this. Ooh. Looking a little bit yellow, but hey, I am sick, so it's probably accurate. Geiger counter. You're just going to go head over to this one with the old Geiger counter sound effect on you. This is probably bronzite, chondrite, or however you pronounce that. Again, pronunciation is not my strong point. Let's head over that one just so I can show Mirwaz. I think Mirwaz was asking about the materials. There does seem to be a lot of potluck involved in it, but like I said, once you found a planet which produces the materials you're looking for, stay on it and keep searching on it, because it will have more of the materials. Once you've proven that one particular material is on it, you will find more. So do not think that if you haven't seen the particular material you're looking for in a few minutes that you've kind of used them all up. That doesn't happen. There's nothing there I really want. You can see that's got some of the common things there: nickel, sulfur, phosphorus, that kind of thing. Sparrow Black, yeah. I'll give Selazan a shout, see if we can tweak my voice slightly. Oh, this is rough terrain. I need to get past this. And once we're on a nice flat bit, maybe we can just go back and check on the newsletter. Commander John, I thought you knew that I was a Thargoid and I was just hiding in human skin. I mean, how else do you think I know about all the things which are happening? There has to be a sinister plot behind it all, you see. I am falling apart, Merweth. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the winter blues, isn't it? It's lots of people I've seen on Facebook and things like that which are suffering with various ailments at the moment. Whoa, there's lots of little bumps. You can see on the scanner there is not a lot of smooth land between me and where I'm heading. Gotta get your stunt racing vehicle up to full speed. Come on, there we go. Shanray, yes. Living tissue over metal endoskeleton. Something like that, yes. Merwas, well, to be fair, to be honest with you, since the release of 2.0, there's not a lot more now that I really have seen which has not been announced, which is great because it means I can enjoy without having to worry about saying something I shouldn't say, which is really great. I mean, it's wonderful it is to kind of get some in-flight information and you know what's coming ahead of time, things like that. At the same time, for me as a fan, it takes the edge off it a little bit, so to speak, because I want the same excitement as everyone else. You know, I want to see it when it first hits. And when I heard about the Avatar creator and things like that, obviously that was a month or two before the actual announcement that we were going to be getting the Commander creator coming up in this season. And that was a really, really nice surprise, because I was totally not expecting to see first person level character detail this early on, but yeah, we're going to be getting it this season, which is great. I can't wait. Yes, Goglu's correct that it's 670 kilometers. It is a crazy long trip. Why? Because I can, and because I want to, and I'm just taking it easy in my buggy. It is a bit of a burden, but it's one that I take with pride. It is, like I said, it's just nice to be involved with everything of the guys at Frontier. They've been absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I've always considered myself just a fan of this game, like all you, like everyone else. I am just a fan. For them to have singled me out and got me involved in so many parts of the community and various events and things, I can't believe it. I still kind of think it can't be real, because I'm just happy that the game exists, but then to be involved with helping to demo it to people and things like that, it's just been wonderful. A little bit nerve-wracking when you're sat in a room with the guy that you idolized as a kid, and a big media camera gets shoved in your face telling you to demo the game, and David's there talking about what you're doing in the game. Yeah, that's nerve-wracking, I will give you that. But at the same time, it was incredibly exciting. Shanray, I think that's pretty much what we're going to see on the Commander creator to begin with. Is going to be mainly facial features, probably with a few elements of the body changes, and I think Mad Dog was saying they have to have a fat slider. But I think we'll see those basic kind of elements to begin with. Nothing I want there. Yeah, I'm mainly looking for the metallic sound, kind of sort of metallic sounds you hear on the scanner there. Those are the good ones. Metallic meteorites and the mesodorites. Those are the ones with the rare stuff in, the really good juicy stuff. But yeah, I imagine we'll have some basic sliders for the body. Most of the detail is going to be in the face, I think, to begin with. But if you go back to some of the early concept art, I don't have the image available, but there was some early concept art which was pushed out way back when, probably 2 years ago now, of a commander in various levels of dress. And one of the interesting things on there was the idea you can have boots and like a big leather jacket with a big collar on it and that kind of thing, and all sorts of different variations kind of layered on top. So I'm hoping we will get some of those details in the Commander creator. So sorry, I missed a few things there. Merwaz, I don't know. Maybe I could do 600. I mean, I landed there on that one, which is now 130 kilometers behind me. Probably about a quarter of the way, roughly. Tibers, yes, it is possible to call the ship and fly over, but I decided tonight I'm just going to take it easy in my buggy. That's right. Greetings, Commander. Thanks for joining in. Oh, I'm trying to traverse 1,200 miles. See, the thing is, I want it on this screen here, so if we go down to the bottom of the screen. Where is it? SRV distance travel. See, 555 kilometers in an SRV. I want to get that to at least 1,000. So I'm going to get as far as I can tonight anyway. It's like Commander John, oddly enough, not car sick yet. See, that's an interesting thing. I still, at my age, which is silly, I still do get car sick if I'm a passenger in someone's car. If I'm driving, I'm fine. If I'm a passenger, I still get car sick, which is really annoying. I am curious to, I really need to plug my Oculus in and give this a go, driving over the terrain, and see if I get car sick. Ooh, it's a nice big flat area. These are the places you want to find because you can cover a lot of ground quickly. Ooh, and if you find... See, the problem is I'm not going to make 670 kilometers if I keep stopping to find stuff. So, oh, shiny. Oh, shiny. I can hear my voice breaking when I try and go too high. Oh, sorry, was that, who said that originally? Shanray mentioned that you having your rank insignia on your character. Yeah, I think I would hope it's possible. If you've ever looked in the Oculus DK2 where you can get up and move around, if you have a look inside the cockpit, you'll notice that the pilot in your seat has the rank insignias on both shoulders, but it's just a fully filled out elite rank. It would be nice if that rank properly illustrated your combat rank or something like that. I think that would be really, really nice. Much like this, you see. But yeah, I think the pilot already has that kind of like silver emblem on the shoulders at the moment, so it would be nice if that is a thing, if that becomes a thing. I would be well up for that. Germanium is pretty good. Let's grab some of that. I might have to throw some stuff away though, because I'm getting full up again. Whoops. I think I'm already full up. Shit, I cannot pick up any more. Let's throw a few more things away. Oops, put the handbrake on a second. See, I don't need to mention that to the devs though, Commander John, because I think that's probably something they'd like to put. There's loads of little details like that already in the game. So. Murwaz, yeah, not all of the ships have that old school keyboard in it. If you've flown the Cobra Mark II, it's got the same shape, but it's got a really kind of nice blue backlit style keyboard to it, which is pretty cool. Commander Jan, a barber shop for new hairstyles on the fly. So, see, interesting you should say that. I mean, one thing I've been thinking about is whether or not the... So I need that. What can I use manganese for? Damn it, I need to decide something I can throw away. Selenium. Ammo, sulfur and phosphorus. I'm getting distracted, sorry. Yeah, the idea... See, at the moment you can only change the appearance of your ship, even the paint job and everything like, you can only do it when you're at a station. Are we going to have the same limitations that you could change and tweak your character, but you could only ever do it at a station? Which makes sense in a lot of respects, but so that's for that. Repair. Ammo restock. See, all of these use. I think we throw away the. A bit chromium. What have we got there? Oh, what to discard? What to discard? Okay. Let's throw away the tin. Everyone can see I found tin, so let's throw that away for now. So what I really want is more arsenic and polonium. That's what I'm after. I know a planet where there's some yttrium as well, so I will. Ooh. Yeah, these little metallic ones tend to come in groups of a few of them. So. I think I see it. Is that yours? Minnesota, right? Yep, I gotcha. What have we got here then? Manganese. No, quick donut. No, can't hear any more scratchy noises on the scanner, so I head on. Oh, Toad, don't say things like that. You'll get the speculation alert flashing up on the screen. Yeah, you want to EVA and weld hull repair panels onto the hull. Yeah, I would love to see that sort of detail in it. I don't know if or when we're going to see that sort of stuff, but just that idea of being a lone pilot and having to be self-sufficient, you know, having to go out, find the raw materials, bringing them back to your ship, having some kind of 3D printer refinery type thing built into your ship so it can be self-sufficient, and then you having to manually go outside and do it. That sort of stuff just blows my mind. I love the fact that there's the potential in the game for that. That's the stuff which always kind of always gets the squee going. Don't make me squee tonight. I can't squee. Shanray, yes, I imagine Ashlyn Duval supporters will be able to pick blue hair, although not as long and flowing as her hair, probably shaved. Because reasons. Oh, found another one. Sorry. Rancid Rats, didn't the Paraplay trailer show ship decals for factions? I can't remember if that had something like that. It might have done. There was a lot of elements in there. Revian, cue the A-Team themeness. See, that's a whole other profession. That's you know, we've got the fuel rats, and then we need the E-Team. If you're stranded deep in space with no materials, no ability to repair, if you can afford them, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the E-Team. Oh, arsenic. Let's grab that first. That's what I want. We got germanium. That's pretty good. Much more efficient to just sit on top of the group of rocks you've just broken open and just select them there. I was doing that whole kind of forward and back, selecting them manually, targeting them, which was a pain, but yeah. Commander Sivian, you want to be able to hide in a cargo canister, launch yourself out of the ship whilst a pirate is attacking, let them think you are cargo, then go first person mode and take over their ship. See, those kind of things are entirely possible. That's the sort of stuff that could be coming later on down the line in another season. Whoa. But again, it's one of those things where there's a lot of groundwork that needs to go into making that happen. I've been playing around a little bit on the Arena Commander 2.1, I think it is now at for Star Citizen. And it's kind of raised a lot of questions in my mind. At the moment, there's no kind of system of laws, there's no security, nothing like that at the moment. So it kind of highlights the problems of balance you're going to have when people can just FPS around and just jump into other people's ships. As, you know, people are just going to be cracking people over the back of their head with pistol whipping them and stealing their ships and things like that. Like, you don't really want to put in hundreds of hours into getting your Anaconda than having someone come along and steal your ship. There has to be some kind of control over how that works, whether you just have to pay the insurance or, you know, and then having people basically could do that from the get-go, out of the gates, that someone who's just started with a Sidewinder could come along with a brand new account and steal a giant ship from a player which has been playing for a long time. How do you balance that? What are the issues around that? Should it be allowed? Does it cause massive problems if you then have someone who can just buy an account and do that straight out of the box? It raises a lot of questions, so I think it needs to be well thought out. The mat rats, I like that. TM, you need to put a TM on that, Shanry. There you go, that's your job role coming up for the future. Are you stuck way outside of your FSD jump range? Don't have the mats to get home? You need the mat rats. So what have we got here? So zinc, is this zinc for SRV repair? Only for top of the range SRV repair, and the rest of it, I don't think I'm that worried about it. AFM refill, let's check that quickly. Basic AF, see, that's zinc's really useful. Don't really want to use it. Oh, curse it, I have to throw some stuff away. Whoops. Let's check 10 of those away. Oh, another one over there somewhere? Oh no, Rancid bought a new GPU and a PSU, but the PSU was broken. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's the most annoying thing. See, I was really worried coming up to Christmas. I ordered the parts that I knew I wanted for Christmas, but my wife would not let me open them. And rightly so, she would not let me open them until Christmas Day. So I was really worried that my parts weren't going to work. But fortunately, everything's fine. Everything's gushy. Had a few issues with the water cooler, as I bought one which was way too large for my old case, stupidly, but I found a way of mounting it, and it's all working well now. That's alright. Let's get over the brow of this hill so I can see it. Got there, so arsenic, yep, yoink. Some of that, that's the stuff we want. Arsenic and polonium. Oh, I apologise if I'm missing speculation. It's always about speculation. See, I need a big red button I can hit for the speculation, because there's so much speculation, and much more speculation is going to be coming on Kerrash Landing, because, like I said, I don't have many more secrets left. So, which is good. It's good because it means I can speculate and I can hype up and get excited about the potential again, which is really nice. Shanray, yeah, absolutely. Multi-crew coming into Season 2, it offers the same problems as well. Exactly what happens when a player on your ship disconnects. You know, I had a couple of brownouts over Christmas as well, which would be a bit of a nightmare if you're trying to play with someone and suddenly they disappear. Target the power plant. Bob, are you there? Yeah, it would get really annoying. And how do you handle that then? Do you hand it back over to the ship so it works like a normal player playing by themselves? I mean, that's the thing which I think makes sense about how Frontier have talked about how the multi-crew is going to work. The fact that it's kind of it's almost just a buff. You know, it's not going to drastically change the way things work in terms of you can fly your ship entirely by yourself. Like, everyone's been able to fly a giant ship like an Anaconda solely by themselves since the very beginning. But having multi-crew means that you can kind of divide up that responsibility and effectively leave you to concentrate on the actual flying and the combat and that kind of stuff. Leave someone else to come up with the targeting the ships and picking an escape route and all that kind of stuff. All these lovely things that come along with being able to have multiple people helping you out. I don't know if anyone's ever played the Starship Bridge Simulator Artemis. That is a fantastic example of how multi-crew can work. Wow. Because you find out that the key thing of working in multi-crew is absolutely communication, just being able to chat to the other people and work alongside them to achieve a common goal. It's a really, really fantastic mechanic. It's really exciting. The fact that the way the Artemis works is it's been kind of all of the useful parts of running the ship have been spread out amongst the roles, so you have to communicate. You will absolutely fail if your team doesn't communicate. I hope that some of that feeling comes over to multi-crew for Elite. I think it would be really, really cool. Simmer there. When disconnected, the multi-crew improbability drive kicks in and transports you to who knows where. Yes, another galaxy on the other side of space. Where is it? There you are. That's all right. Some more of those metallic meteorites. The molybdenum, it's good, but I don't need it for jumps. I'm never going to make it. I've only done 15 kilometers. Since I last checked, so let's just put our foot down and go as far as we can. Uh-oh. Okay, this is not good. This is not good. As far as we can in the direction I'm planning on going. Commander Sivian should be able to control the turret manually and shoot it like the buggy. I'm kind of hoping that's the whole purpose of the turret cam that we see on the SRVs. Is it's kind of that it's that first step towards allowing us to do those kind of things. I mean, you can see in the bottom left corner of the screen I've got neural link, and that's been explained that the idea is that yes, that is you in the front of that cockpit there, but effectively you're getting the camera feed fed directly through some kind of neural link to your player. So the idea that you can have someone sat in the second seat of your Cobra, maybe something like that, you've got turreted weapons on there, you can just concentrate on the flying and the evading and getting lined up for a good shot, and then the second player can effectively have a view like this, controlling the turrets. I think that would be a really, really nice thing for it. It kind of makes sense, you know, it's all possible within the lore of the game, so why not? Oh, big jump in text there, sorry. Oh, dude, I completely missed the whole creature stuff there. I know that's something that David's keen on putting into the game, is going down and seeing creatures. I've missed the joke though, I'm sorry. T. Corcoran, will multi-crew only be available to ships above a certain size? I believe the only limitation is you will need a ship with at least 2 seats in the main cockpit. I think that's the only limitation. You can't, for example, have a sidewinder and someone sat in the back, because effectively there is no back at the moment. There is no content for an engine room or that kind of thing. So someone would have to be sat in the cockpit. That's why I gave the example of like a Cobra Mark III, for example, is one of the smaller ships with 2 seats in the front. So we speculation alert! Speculation alert! Multi-crew have 4 roles: captain, engineer, navigator, and weapons specialist. I don't know how they're going to split up, but it would be nice to have specific roles like that, so that you can kind of say, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you know where everyone stands. At the same time, you can imagine the need to be able to switch roles quickly. Like, you know, I need to swap seats with you. You take the stick, fly the ship. I'm going to jump into weapons because I've had more practice with the turrets, that sort of thing. So it would be nice to be able to switch and swap quickly. I don't know how that's going to happen. I imagine like fade to black on the camera, like we see when we board the ship, which would make sense. Running out of sweet. Plipe, Happy New Year, Commander. Good to see you. Waxman, no, I mean, I think the whole point of multi-crew, I think the clue is in the name, it's supposed to be crew, not passengers. So you have to be actively on the bridge doing something useful towards the running of the ship. I don't believe it's going to allow you to be someone sat in the back doing nothing. Which, I mean, I still think that's cool. I mean, the Python bridge is really, really awesome. I'd like to be able to see around that a little bit better. The Corvette and the Cutter also have really cool bridge arrangements as well. You have someone sat right in the back. I mean, I'd like to just be sat so I could look around and I can see, you know, the pilot flying the ship and the whole of space spinning around. And I look back to my console and it's perfectly still, and I'm just kind of looking at a nice display. T Corkin, yeah, absolutely, and this is the problem with any new feature going into the game. So it makes for balancing issues. If the Cobra example can use 2 crew, it will give them advantage over a solo player. Absolutely, and that's a problem that it needs to be balanced out. It's going to be very tricky to get that to work in a way which is fair for everyone. It's going to be really difficult to get it right. At the same time, of course, I mean, if you're playing in solo play, you're not going to be able to have other team members, I imagine, any other crew. But yeah, I mean, how much of an advantage should a fully crewed ship have over, you know, one guy in an Anaconda? You know, that was a big hit. Not as big as that though. Oh shoot! 66%. 60. Okay, quick detour. Let's have a look at what this. Oh, it's got 2 bars on it. I think that's a metallic meteorite. Yeah, Rancid, sorry, you put that much more eloquently than I could explain it. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got a really skilled player who's used to playing solo in the ship, like you know, we've all been having practice over this last year, flying airships entirely solo. The question is really down to the skill of the players rather than the team. Oh, it's an outcrop. Damn. I should know the sounds by now. What have we got? Nothing I really care about. Damn it. Oh. Wrecked. So all multi-crew does is allow players to do things you can do. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, the question is whether or not it's balanced in such a way that by having another player control power management, for example, I mean, maybe you make that a more complicated mechanic. Maybe you make it so you're not just dumping energy into shields, into systems, for example, but because, you know, when you're flying the ship, it's about as much as you can concentrate on is having engines, you know, systems and weapons that we're all used to down there. Maybe if you have multi-crew and you've got like an engineer sort of role, someone that's looking after your shield, maybe they can do stuff where like the original Elite used to be able to let you do, to put more power into forward shields or rear shields, depending on whether you're in an offensive stance or a defensive stance, and that kind of giving you a bit of an advantage there. So if you're getting shot at, you can kind of remove power from the back shields and put it into the front shields, so that you can face someone head on. That would be in a kind of an advantage that maybe multi-crew would give over a solo player. And it's whether or not that is a good thing is entirely up for debate. I mean, I think it's really, really cool, you know, to have that flexibility. Well, there's a high signal source over here. I'm going to go and have a check. T-Corking, yeah, exactly. That's the key thing. There has to be some valid reason why multi-crew is an advantage to incentivize people to give it a try. That's the whole point. Otherwise, it's completely pointless addition. But we've proven that, you know, we can all fly the ships in the game solo. The question is, what advantage do we get in multi-crew? Like I said, I like the idea of being able to have more finer-grained control over the various ship systems. Shields is one example, but there's other things you could do as well. Nom 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 nom. Space Pac-Man. What did I steal? Oh, I got one can of gold. Right, let's just put our foot down. DJ Sargent, yeah, that was a bit of a surprise for me as well. I said they're going to have no AI for crew members, so that, you know, solo players won't have the same advantage. I was hoping that was going to be the case. I was under the impression that that was what we were going to be getting for solo players, so that people playing by themselves wouldn't be at a disadvantage. But I can see why it would be almost impossible to implement. I mean, it takes a level of strategy which is not really something that AI is going to be good at doing. It's not. Oh, metallic meteorite. There we go. 2 bars low on there. Scratchy metallic sound. There we go. That's the noise I've been looking for. This is the rock you're looking for. And it's got bugger all in it. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Rancid Rats can't wait to boss people around. See, it's not about bossing them around, it's about working together. But no, I get your point though. It's going to be pretty cool to be able to do that kind of thing. Multi-crew, I think, is really going to be the big selling point. Just like you know, 1.2, the whole Wings update for Season 1 was a really, really massive change to the way that people thought about the game. I mean, I was doing a lot of co-op anyway beforehand. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But once Wings come along, it kind of formalised the whole process of getting co-op with players. Loved it, absolutely loved it. It made a huge improvement to the game. So I think multi-crew is going to have the same kind of effect. It's really going to drive home that whole idea of collaborating with someone. Might as well use some of these. I got chromium, vanadium. Never done this top one. I might as well do it. Tellurium. Is that useful for anything? Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look before I waste it on some of it. So AFM refill, I should say. Tungsten. Solid. Let's do it. Let's do a 100% bonus. Sure if I follow that more. So yeah, just have some characters with skills and bonuses like games have had forever, and not everyone want to play with other humans. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, so you being able to hire NPC crew members with different levels of skill on and stuff. I mean, the Amiga version of the game had that. You know, Frontier Elite 2 on Amiga, you could hire people of different skill levels. And they had, you know, it was very basically based on the amount of money they were willing to accept on a weekly salary, monthly salary it wasn't. Yeah, so it was very, very basic. But the people that expected higher pay tended to be better at their particular jobs. But then you know, there wasn't really much of an effect in the old games for what that meant. You know, it was just a number. You know. I'd love to see more detail there as well, but like I said, I don't know how that's gonna work, you know, and I think the whole point of multi-crew is going to be more of that strategic cooperative play, and that's something that's it's just not going to work well with NPCs. Infected me with the AMD bug. Yeah, I think that's what it was, Mirwaz, because you mentioned AMD right at the top. Let's read that out sentence. So, you'd like to think that multi-crew would offer more refinement over solo crew, having to rely entirely on the onboard computer's issues, so the engineer would have more tasks over and above what solo pilots had. Yeah, exactly. That, like I said, that kind of idea that, like I said, for example, that if you have an individual working, oh, have I run out of? Oh no, panic. Then I thought I run out of repair. Yeah, so the idea that you could get one person to be looking after shields and focusing the energy of the shields so that the shields remain stable for longer because they're focusing where the areas of damage and the impact are coming in, that sort of thing. Makes sense for an engineer. Being able to more finely control the weapons balance, for example, so that the capacitors can stay charged for longer and that kind of thing. You know, there's lots of individual kind of micromanagement type things you can get other players to help you with. I really get the impression that the SRV repair bonuses only seem to work against weapons fire damage, because I still get pretty big hits when I'm jumping like this, so I don't think you get much of an effect. Mind you, that was a pretty big hit and I only lost 7%, so... DJ Tartan, yeah, that's a good point on it. Something you've been thinking about with the ship launch fighters. If you launch and you fly together, what happens to your ship? Will it be AI controlled? Yes. So that's something that Frontier confirmed, that your ship will effectively go into AI control mode to defend itself. The question is, how much control do you get over that? So, I mean, I think the whole kind of ship launched fighter thing is the solo person's equivalent of being able to have a bit more fine control, like you can have your big ship which goes into defense mode, flies itself, and then you fly around with your fighter ship to support it. How does that tie in with multi-crew as well? Could you do both at the same time? It makes absolute sense. You could be able to. See, these are the things every day that games designers toil over. Like, how do all these systems fit together? What's fair? How is this going to work with things coming up even later down the line? That kind of stuff. There's so many questions that you need to get right in order to make these things work together. Nothing useful there. Simmer. Oh yeah, it would be nice if the ship became like a lobby. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I like the idea that when we can walk around inside the ship, so you could effectively have. I mean, the Orca in particular is going to be a really, really awesome ship when you can walk around inside. You can have these really nice meeting areas that everyone can meet up in. Commander Jan, you'd want ships on the belly of shields on the belly of the ship because that's the weakest part. Well, there you go. That's if you tell your crew member to focus on the belly, which I should do this year. Oh, eaten way too much this last week. Sparrow Black, yeah, if you go back and look at some of the little things that have been leaked into the newsletter and stuff, they do kind of hint at some of the HUD designs of the other positions. They give you an idea of the sort of things that are coming. Zoom in and have a look. I will speculate no further. Good point on that, DJ. I don't know if your AI will suddenly magically get unlimited ammo for flying your ship around in. Honestly, don't know how that works. I think no, actually no. I think Sarah Jane did explain the point behind that. The AI can be designed to work with limited ammo. I think the reason why they have limitless ammo in things like the conflict zones is because they're not designed to be there very long. Like, you go to the conflict zones and the AI are only there long enough for you to actually fight and interact with, and that's it, done. And then, you know, so there's no reason to simulate ammo, because they would have enough ammo to last 20-30 minutes or something like that. And it seems entirely pointless because their lifespan is going to be a lot less. So I think it's just one of those kind of, it saves bothering doing it because it doesn't make sense to simulate it. Wallenby, you'd like to see massive photon torpedo launchers. See, that's one of the things that was hinted on, these idea of these bigger and bigger torpedoes, missile launchers and stuff like that. I definitely think those kind of weapons are in need of a balance pass this season. They definitely need to get the missiles and the torpedoes to be more useful things that are good for taking out bases, for example. Causing massive ground damage would be a good reason to have the missiles amped up a little. Sentinel, yeah, that's a good idea. If you're in charge of keeping things under, like an engineer sort of thing, you can keep things repaired. Use alternate setup for loading torpedoes. Yeah, I mean there's lots of little things like an engineer role could do, which would be useful. I think there's lots of kind of gameplay opportunities on there. It's a question of which ones are going to be fun, because you know, managing the health of a ship is going to be very complicated. So you need to make some systems where it's interesting and fun. What have we got there? Sorry if I missed any questions on there. I've missed the point of that piece film they were saying about when yes, I've seen Knight Rider when they drive the car up into the semi. I mean, that's more like the the Crucible ship that was announced for Star Citizen, where they've got the repair bay, that kind of idea. Again, it's open to so much opportunity, so many things you can do, so many different ways of approaching the problem of giving individuals these roles and things to do. Shanray, if I had a multi-crew, I'd jump as far as I could and tell them, well, it's back to Sajay or bust, no turning back. That's mean, Shanray. I like it. Yeah, that's an interesting question. What do you do if the pilot of your ship wants to head off into the deep dark void, and you would prefer to stay in airspace? Do you, I don't know, steal an escape pod and get the heck out of Dodge before he all drives you to the other side of the galaxy? Oh, did I miss some germanium? Damn it. Again, it's all good questions, and how do you do it in such a way which is fair and doesn't annoy the heck out of people? Can you imagine being stuck aboard someone's ship for months because he decides to go off to the centre of the galaxy? Yeah, that wouldn't be fun for anyone involved. There has to be some kind of mechanic where you can basically turn round and disband your crew, and you know. Rancid Rants, I think there was a slight change. There was definitely an improvement to the way that missile damage worked in 2.0. I think there is more to come, though. The problem is, at the moment, you've got to think about it logically. There's no reason, or it doesn't make much sense for Frontier to go ahead and completely adjust the balance and readjust all of the weapon damage and all that kind of stuff right now, because with looting and crafting around the corner, that's going to completely change the balance of everything, of all modules, all weapons. everything's going to need a complete balance pass once looting and crafting comes out to prevent people from like min-maxing and getting some ridiculously powerful modules. So it would make sense to me that they're kind of holding off on that whole balance pass until that is in, and that's a possibility. And then we're going to see stuff like, you know, super turbo charged boosters and crazy powerful explosive cannon rings and all that sort of stuff. You know, when we see that kind of stuff coming in, then you're gonna need the missiles to be balanced accordingly. I would like them to be more useful. I mean, I find that I don't think I've ever used missiles seriously since the early alphas. There just really isn't much point. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, Commander John. That's exactly why I kind of hinted at that. The old missions in Frontier Elite 2, the ability to fly down and drop the nukes on the bases there. I'm hoping some of that stuff will come in. I know there's a lot of issues with that. Is the idea of the persistence. You know, showing a base as damaged across all instances. You know, in synchronization, that becomes a real pain in the backside to kind of control that. And if you're giving players access to nuclear weapons that could destroy entire bases, what's to say they wouldn't try and do it on a starport on the surface of a planet? It becomes a real pain, you know, a real problem. Yeah, DJ, that's a good one. Vonner, yeah, Vonner, I like that idea as well. Ejector seat, that's it. You don't want to be my crew? Get it. But yeah, DJ, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, is that idea that just like you can with, if you destroy your SRV, you can choose to either go back to your ship in orbit, or you can go back to the last station you were docked at. I think the same sort of mechanic is going to come in. It makes sense that you can choose to go back to your ship where it was last at, or go back to the station that you crewed up together. That kind of thing. That I imagine there's going to be some options on the screen. Merwas 600 meters per second covered. Yeah, you can imagine it having these custom thruster modules, and I just want to be able to make different coloured lasers. That would be really cool. Bright purple lasers. Oh, I thought I saw one on the scanner there. What's that? Looks like outcrop. What have we got? Nothing useful. Damn it. See, this is the problem with driving on the surface. There's too many distractions. I'm supposed to be doing my run to that base, but I keep finding shiny things. Arsenic. Okay, I admit that was worth stopping. So we got germanium. I can hear another one. HS 3333, isn't there a hard cap of 500 meters per second in space? Each one of the ships has a maximum top speed which the onboard computer will allow you to achieve. I've lost that. Where did I hear that one? There it is. The reason for that is it's mainly due to the limits of the human body, that, you know, only certain levels of acceleration are acceptable. So the onboard computer will make limits. Just a safety thing, really. There is actually a backstory, which is I think it was the one that Darren Gray wrote, which is really, really awesome, about the Silver Comet, where the main antagonist is been enhanced so that she can fly the ship in much more tighter turns and things than an average human can achieve. but the limit isn't it isn't set. It isn't an arbitrary limit which is applied to the entire game. It's each ship has its own top speed for reasons. And at the end of the day, I mean, you've got to understand. I mean, yeah, okay. In theory, there's no reason why you couldn't have a ship accelerate, you know, in space to any speed. But that was a big problem in the prequels, in Frontier Elite 2 and First Encounters. Being able to accelerate to any speed meant that every fight that you had just ended up being a jousting battle, which it looked ridiculous. It didn't offer much fun and it's kind of exciting gameplay. You just ended up kind of shooting past each other in things like this because people were accelerating to a kilometre plus a second, zipping past each other and then zipping around the other way. So like, it wasn't interesting. It wasn't fun. It got frustrating after a while. And once you found the technique for avoiding that and kind of strafing along with them, the combat went from rock solid difficult to just kind of fish in a barrel, you know. If you go way back when to kind of Kerrash Landing 6 or whenever that was, nearly 2 years ago when I was playing Frontier Elite 2, you can see there that once you get something like I think I had a Viper with a mining laser in, you could literally just snipe them, and there was no interesting kind of combat to it. And that's kind of the whole point, is that Frontier are trying to make a game which, whilst it's based on scientific accuracy, there has to be an element of gameplay in there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun. A bit of green screen. Yeah, I'm not happy with that either. HS003. I tried to adjust the camera and I'm really not happy with it tonight. Let's put it back to normal. I know I may look a little sickly, but there we go. That's a little better. Yeah, I need to get that. That is my New Year's resolution to you folks, is I'm going to find a way of getting the green screen to be better this year. It's all in the lighting. It's all in the lighting. Yeah, I don't want to say too much on the Silver Comet story, Shan, because it was awesome. And if you haven't read it, go get it. Go buy the audiobooks. Listen to the audiobooks. Fantastic reading. Really enjoyed that one. No. These are not the mats you're looking for. Yeah, it's not Crash, it's just a Thargoid. The whole voice thing is a cover. This is my poor attempt at making a human voice with my insect mandibles. I am playing the game with my normal human hands. Oh, is that a... Oh, Dirt D. You have to send that to me in a Twitch message if you can, and I'll watch that later. Isonona is an absolute legend. There's really, really good flight videos. I'm not surprised that they're good at Frontier Elite 2 as well. I'm not saying that it wasn't possible, but I think I distinctly remember. Oh, Happy New Year, Montuxia! Greetings. I distinctly remember playing Frontier on the Amiga. I didn't understand the whole combat model. I found it really, really difficult. But then going back to it last year, and because I don't know how many people remember, but the whole idea of Kerrash Landing started off that I wanted to get elite rank in Frontier Elite 2 before the alpha hit. So that was kind of my challenge to myself, and I did it. I got to elite rank. But yeah, the whole combat system to begin with, it was really, really difficult to understand. But once you kind of understood the whole point that basically you need to neutralize the relative velocity between you and your target, and once you get that down, and you can literally just strafe. What's that? Oh, I can see something over here. Is that a mining operation? I think I've stumbled across a mining operation. Yeah, once you've got that idea down of being able to kind of neutralize your speed, so you're both flying along, you can kind of strafe and just take shots at the other ship. And the combat, like I said, it just drops off a cliff. The difficulty level goes from being really, really hard to kind of just being so easy. Don't have to apologise for being late, Montague. In fact, I started a little early this time around. May need to give Commander Human a bit of a break. What have we got here? Shall I have a look? Shall I try stealing it? I can drop a few tons of gold. Should cover the costs. I want to be able to deploy these things. I want a mining or automated mining limpet controller thing. I want to be able to launch these things and fire them onto the surface. Or what I want next. Oh, Wallenby. Sorry, it's a big one. Maybe when you get missions where you're given a nuke and told to fly to a base or a space station and dock with a package, turns out to be a bomb and you dock. You access the mission board, you turn it in, then it's a bomb, and the sidewinder you're given to fly is target has the bomb, given another side. That's a complicated mission structure. You have to escape and fly better. There are many options of Wallenby of what possible missions can go out. The issue is always going to be making it work in a way which doesn't break things for all of the other players. That's always going to be the problem. You can't have something where let's just steal this. What have we got? You can't have something which is going to let you destroy a base and then potentially break it. What on earth is cryolite? Alright, or keep it. You can't have something which is going to destroy a base and then other players wouldn't be able to land on that base. What would they be able to do? It's there's a lot of cool ideas. There's a lot of cool things you could do, but it's finding a way of doing it that doesn't break the game for other players is the big issue. We've got that. What is that? Uranite? No. Some poor guy is going to come back and find his mining operation destroyed. I'm sorry. Cobalt. Not much there. I'm going to keep the cryolite. Okay, where's my... There we go. Cargo bay full. What did I pick up? Oh, cobalt. Rubbish. Nom. Nom 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 nom. Good question, HS. What happens if you fire limpets on a planet? I've not tried yet. I'd like to try it, but I imagine Prospector limpets probably wouldn't do anything. Just little things I like to have. Sensor limpets that kind of alert you when someone's near. That would be a nice one. You could reuse those for any kind of things. You could set up things like races and things like, if you had a limpet which kind of warns you when someone's within a kilometre of it or something like that, you could set up little race tracks with them, that kind of stuff. It's, just little things you could do with something simple like that. Is really, really interesting. Commander Azron, Happy New Year! HS, see that's closer to the point that, say, something like the ability to sabotage a station's ability to produce commodities for a certain amount of time. Yeah, so maybe there was something like that. I mean, you could have some of these ground bases which have got like these big areas and lots of different buildings doing different things. If the mission was to, destroy the factory manufacturing refining materials, and it kind of has a knock-on effect to all other players, that kind of thing is perfectly possible. The issue is giving someone a nuke, allowing them to demolish the entire base, and then no one can even land at that base. What if someone logged off at that base and then come back on and find there is no base? What happens to, and what happens in terms of the instance thing as well? I mean, if someone drops a nuke on that base and you are in a different instance, does the base get simultaneously destroyed for no reason in front of you? Does the game have to spawn an AI in the same ship as the player with the nuke, throwing a nuke at the base? There's so many complexities. So that kind of the kind of things which are like massively destructive, world-changing events, those are the things which are very, very difficult to get into the game and get right. But anything which something like that, affecting the supply chain, the kind of changing the abilities of what the, maybe if it's like a station or a surface settlement which has a lot of ships available, maybe you do something to disrupt the shipyard so people can't outfit there, that kind of thing. Those are all cool ideas, it's all possibilities, but again, it all comes down to that idea of balance. You know, what if someone lands there and it's their last chance to refuel, but you've taken out the refueling services at the station? How annoying would that be? That you've completely run out of fuel, you haven't got a scoot, there's no outfitting, you've landed at this place to refuel, and you find out that someone's blown up the refueling capabilities of that station, and you have to wait for it to re-enable. Might be a little bit frustrating. DJ Targent, yeah, that's one thing which is entirely possible. That, you know, when people bring the unknown artifacts to the stations, and we're seeing various stations suffering system malfunctions and things like that. It's okay when it's a kind of background story thing, that it just kind of, it's going along in the side. But when it actually causes a real world impact, it's kind of open to abuse and exploitation, if you know what I mean. Interestingly, the Cerebus plague, I mean, I think it was Michael Brooks who said early on that you know, if players didn't stop that as successfully as they did, it would have continued to spread at pace. So it's interesting to see how those kind of events will work. MRX Petro, Happy New Year! Typical New Year Friday stream. It is a typical Friday stream. Unfortunately, I don't have a guest and I barely have a voice. But that's my problem. I refuse to let that get in the way of the stream. Stream must go on. Although I will refrain from singing. It's not good. Not good at the best of times. Boop. Oh, that's an interesting one, Commander Jan. Yeah, nuking an agricultural world might cause it to go into famine, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, that's, again, going back to that kind of more of a background side effect sort of thing. I mean, we all want to be able to affect the background simulation a little more. I think the problem is, well, we can affect the background simulation. There are things we can do. I think the issue with it is it's hard to see what our effects are having, but being able to do things like that would be pretty cool. But, you know, like the whole kind of progenitor cells thing that was played out early on. The fact that they were those kind of eco-terrorists sort of thing, and they were poisoning the progenitor cells so they could kill the people that were using them and cause all sorts of problems. Those sort of things I think are interesting. I like the possibility that we as players are going to have more direct control over those kind of things coming up. So exactly like you said there, if you arrange between a group of players to have a concerted attack on an agricultural world and, you know, poison the fertilizers and destroy the crops and that kind of thing, that it would have a big impact and kind of be fed into the game and start to generate more missions around that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I'm really excited about. That's definitely a possibility, and I know it's something that Michael Brooks would be very keen on. He likes the idea of stories and things being played out. Yeah, HS03 there. Yeah, the sabotaging specific parts of a station. Yeah, that sounds like something which is entirely possible. Like I said, anything which is kind of requires some form of persistence in the world, you know, some visual representation, that becomes really tricky because you have to do a lot of work. But anything which is a kind of disruption of services, that kind of stuff, that would definitely be relatively straightforward to implement simulation-wise. Oh, hull at 50%. Boom. I better park and repair. Oh, look at that. 600 kilometers. We've managed 100 kilometers tonight. That's pretty good going. Ah, DJ, yes. Hey, I completely missed out on that one. So people have already used it in Power Play. A bunch of Imperial players have sold loads of unknown artifacts to Archon's HQ to get it to go into malfunctions. Excellent. See, this is the thing when people say, "Oh, we can't affect the background simulation." Yes, you can. You just you don't know how because everyone's still learning, and Frontier don't want to tell you exactly how to do stuff because where's the fun in that? We should all be out learning how to do these things, and people are finding ways of doing these things. That's what's great. The fact that it does cause this knock-on effect is brilliant. MRX Pedro, no, it wasn't a last night party. I've got my medication here, which I need to take shortly. I have a upper airway infection or something like that, something pretty nasty. My voice is nearly gone, but I refuse to let that stand in the way of the first crash landing of the year. It's 2016. I could not miss the first Friday of the year. Vonner, see you in the Void, Commander. Thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year. Oh, that's a good idea, Commander Jan. Yeah, a mining planet closed by lack of food. Oh, what the heck did I just hit? A massive great rock, which just nearly took me out. 17 repairs left. Can I make it across this base without... 26, of course, Dubbo. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, 3302. I should say. Yeah. I'm glad you do, DJ. I think a lot of the arguments that I see about the background simulation is broken. It's just people don't understand it. People don't know what they can do to have an impact on the background simulation. It's all there. It's all working. Yeah, there's been a few stalls and stutters along the way. We've all been aware of that. And Frontier have been quite upfront and candid about it when there's been an issue with anything in the background simulation, and patched it accordingly. But yeah, there are things you can do which people just aren't really taking into account. I think people tend to think, oh, data point, oh, nearly completely missed that. You know, people are kind of a little bit too narrow-minded on it. I think, what on earth? I've never seen one of these before. It's an ancient satellite. How cool is that? Oh, that is super cool. I've never seen one of those before. I'm totally geeking out now. It looks like an ancient probe. I'm glad I found one of these things. So, I mean, I know there's probably a few people in the chat that haven't played the original Frontier Elite 2, so probably aren't aware of this particular thing. But if you look at the systems on the map in areas way outside of known space in the older games, you'll find that they have these little sentences on there. It says, system scanned by remote probe, but no further information available. That's one of them. How cool is that? We found one. So yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, people don't find these things are rare. They're rare so that they're fun and exciting to find these kind of things. But people tend to think that because they're not finding them, that they don't exist. They are in there. These things are in there. Looks like a Voyager clone, yeah. It's Voyager. Yeah, there's so many nice little subtle things like that in the game, and I think they don't get enough. They don't get enough credit for the little bits that have gone in there. Actually, what did I get for that? Let's see what transactions there. Ooh, wow, 7,000 intel for the Federation. Fire Toes, you've been finding crashed nav beacons 10,000 kilometers out in deep space. It wasn't me, honestly. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. But yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. These nav beacons and these probes and things like that. They all feed into the background story of the game. That was it a few hundred years ago in the lore of the game, when they were able to make hyperspace probes. Obviously, they could travel further and under tougher circumstances than any human could. So they sent out all the probes to gather all the system data and stuff like that. So it's no wonder you're finding a bunch of these things crashed into the surfaces. I mean, you can imagine that they were quite cheap to manufacture, so they would have literally sent out one in the direction of every damn planet they could reach, which is no wonder you find these little things all over the place. Where's that? Is it that rock there? Is that right? I think it is. Oh, nickel. No, I don't need any of that. The Horned Blacksmiths. Greetings, Commander. Oh, I just picked up the nickel. Didn't mean to. What is this? This isn't available on Xbox One. Not yet. No, the 2.0 content for Elite Dangerous is only available on PC at the moment. This is landing on the surface of planets. No ETA on that, I'm afraid. I cannot tell you if or when it's going to show up on Xbox One. I hope. I mean, I'm playing this on my Xbox controller right now. I do own the game on both PC and Xbox. I would love to see the surface landing stuff available on Xbox as soon as possible. I don't know when that might be though. Animus V, sorry, greetings. I didn't see your name pop up on the chat there. Whee! Oh, no, that's it. No, see, the high pitched is just not there. I can't screen. I've lost my screen. Nope. There's one over here. I hear it. I hear it. I love the fact that the what have we got? Germanium? That's pretty good. Let's grab some germanium. I was chatting to one of the members of Frontier just a couple of days ago, actually, and talking about the whole idea of like radio scanning for radio waves and that kind of stuff. And I said, you know, it's very much like using one of these full spectrum scanners, which is pretty cool. I like the fact that it feels like a real thing. Nope. Onward and upward. Commander Jan, do a low pitch scream. Scream. So this no. I honestly, Toad, I am not gonna do that full screen for you. With the green screen behind me, you can imagine that would be all over your stream next time I tune in, and you'd be making a tune. Gilsoy, greetings, Commander. Whoa, asteroid, crater, yeah, impact, boom, yeah, that one. I know what I meant. All words disappeared. Oh, there's a huge mountain range coming up in the distance there. Yes, we have travelled far, we have travelled wide. HS03 there, have you heard any news about crafting materials found in space? It's coming very soon. Obviously, we'll give the folks at Frontier time to get back off their Christmas holidays and all that, but the 2.1 update is going to be all about the looting and crafting, hence why I am spending an inordinate amount of time searching for rare mats, because they're going to be really useful in a couple of months. But yeah, the whole idea of the Animus has done another butt salute there. Gilso, yes, it's good to see you back. Absolutely. Welcome to the year 3302. .1 speculated. Yeah, I believe there are going to be more materials that show up for for 2.1. The ones that we've got now obviously are useful for the purposes that we're going for. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch of them, which I've got for the big jumps. Where's the big jumps? No, not AM. AFM, where is it? Panicking and then thinking I've lost my materials. So yeah, so I've been trying to gather these materials here. So I need... Oh, I've got more niobium. Oh, if I get one more yttrium, then I've got 3 jumps available. But yeah, those are the ones I've been gathering, because I plan heading off exploring in the new year, in this year, and just going to places that others have not been able to reach yet by using the FSC jump, because there are a whole bunch of systems right on the edge of the galaxy which no ship up until this point has had a high enough jump range to reach. So being able to double up your jump range for a single hop, that's going to lead for some cool exploration, being able to reach places that no one's got to before. So I definitely going to try that. Although I did hear in a Fiery Toad, maybe you can correct me on this or not, someone did hint that using 100% jump used up all of your fuel in a single jump. That seems a little crazy, because if you're jumping to a star which you don't even know whether you can scoop from, it's going to be really risky. Oh, sorry, go sorry. I'm not sure I follow that, Gil, so let me read that out. Have you thought that with the new patch, with the rare materials coming into craft, they might not introduce new stuff until the patch hits? Stop what you're doing and stop you doing what you're trying to do now. It is entirely possible. I think there are going to be new materials when 2.1 comes out. But to be fair, the main reason, like I said, I'm gathering materials for big FSD jumps. But hey ho, at least having a collection of materials in my pocket is going to be a good thing. I mean, you can imagine that there might be 1 or 2 new materials they add in for various uses, but there's probably going to be some base materials that those things use as well. So, oh, that was a big rock. Yeah, you've heard that too, Toad. Yeah. Commander Jan uses 75% of your fuel for a double jump. Wow. Let Mad Dog do it first. No comment. No comment. What have I just stumbled across? I think I've just found a secret base. A kilometer out here. Okay. Time to investigate. Yeah, it does seem a little crazy. I mean, some of the stars that I wanted to reach, which were outside of range, I don't think they were scoopable, so it would be a one-way trip, and that's kind of defeats the purpose. Well, at least I could say I've been there. I wouldn't be able to bring the data back. What have we here? Interesting. Let me take note of the coordinates. Yeah, Dr. Gnosis, that was kind of my my confusion there. That I didn't think the engines would be able to dump in that much fuel in a single jump. But yeah, I don't see how that's going to work, because if you're trying to make those jumps, you're likely to be right on the edge of space. It's highly unlikely that the stars that you want to get to are going to be scoopable anyway. So you're going to be take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot now, or take a screenshot of. Oh, take a screen instead of writing down. Yeah, well, I'm an old school elite player. Pen and paper, pen and paper. I don't have terabytes and terabytes of hard drive space to have my large collection of files. Although you do have some cool files. So what have we found? defense turret. There's a sentry. Little mining operation. I see. I don't fancy messing with that thing. Let's have a check. He is wanted. It's an illegal mining operation by the Dark Wheel. See, I love these little kind of underground bunker things there. They kind of hint that there's more under there than you see. You know, I'm gonna take the choice of leaving them to their thing. I know where they are. I can always come back. Commander Jan, are the coordinates the same on stuff like that for planet points of interest? A very good question. I know it's possible. The community goal that that was which one was it? The finding the data core. There was that one that I helped out with just before Christmas. Now it was initially bugged, but there was a special point of interest on the planet's surface, and the clues and the hints gave you the coordinates on the planet that you can head down to. It would be foolish, I think, if Frontier didn't use that more in the future for being able to have secret bases and places on the surfaces. So I think it's entirely possible. But for small points of interest, I don't know whether they just spawn for the sake of interest, but then don't actually respawn in the same place. Which I know it's unfortunate that it's not as realistic as you would hope it would be. I mean, yeah, I'd want it to be, you know, be able to come back and find that crash site in the exact same location that I saw it last. I doubt that level of granularity of detail is possible in the game currently. No, I can't reach. I've run out of drink. I can't reach it. To grab a drink shortly, I think. Keep drinking, keep drinking. Oh my goodness, Toad, even though you've compressed them in PNGs, you're still 110 gigabytes of pictures. DJ, yes, the Dark Wheel. The Dark Wheel. See, that's the wonderful thing about these surfaces. There's so much more potential for storylines and things like that. Just the very fact that things could be hidden on these planets for years and years, and the chances of you finding something on one of these planets is slim to none. So you can have these wonderful, wonderful stories of people giving hints and rumors saying, oh, there's a secret base on the planet, you know, which one was it? Wolf 780. There was a secret base on Wolf 780 with a crashed Thargoid ship, and that was in Frontier Elite 2. I want to go back and see if it's there. Yes, Mirwaz, you're right, exactly. It wasn't necessarily the speed of my ship, of my SRV, it was the fact that I keep getting distracted. I was never going to make it. But I refuse to let it defeat me. I think I've done pretty well. Let's have a quick check. Nixon Enterprise is now 216 kilometers away. I've done pretty well. I found a bunch of materials that I wanted. I've only barrel rolled a few times. Whoops. DJ Tarjan, I said nothing about secret Thargoid bases. It was a human base with a crashed Thargoid ship on it. But yeah, no, there's lots of potential what you can do on these different planets. I mean, we all saw in the Horizons release trailer with those kind of that eerie-looking green structure, shall we call it, around that one planet. $37 miles per hour. Am I doing that? Something like that was. No, this isn't miles per hour. This is 35 meters per second. I'm doing. So that's pretty fast. Pretty dang fast. Gilsoy, not at the moment, no. The SRVs don't have any kind of upgrade options like you do with the ships. But I know that there's a bunch of different vehicles planned, so we might see more variations with different purposes in mind. I'd like to see a more heavier vehicle designed for surface base assaults, that kind of thing. A bit more cargo space maybe as well. Oh no! Thank you for that calculation there. So yeah, so rough calculation, I should be able to do 100 kilometers in 45 minutes. So there was no chance I was going to do 600 kilometers in that time, was there? What have we got here? A bunch of gold. Whee! Keep your gold. I don't want your gold. SRV skins, yes, that would be cool. Oh, Montuxia, yeah. Massive speculation alert, but yes, I would love to see SRVs being able to drop off mining machines, being able to take those little automated extractors and plant them on the surface on that. Oh, sorry, Commander Chris Hankey's been trying to get my attention. I do apologise. Says Happy New Year to everyone watching the stream. Sorry, I wasn't checking the chat. There's too many distractions. What's that, DJ? This is a place where people want to use the extra jump range to get to Epsilon Orionis. I can't. Let's have a quick look where base that is. Chudamaro, I know it's terrible. I should have recalled my ship so that I could take all that gold with me. Epsilon Orionis. What was 980? Looks like the closest star to it. 975. So there's not much between them, but yeah, there's not many stars to get to out there, is there? Are they scoopable? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's scoopable. I suppose you could get there. That's the problem. Once you go really low, the stars are so spaced out. Wow, Merweza, tell me you've done those sorts of distances in a car. My goodness, it's 600 kilometers in a car. Hello TM, I am just driving across the surface looking for specific materials. I know they exist on this planet, so I'm just gathering up materials, and I thought I'm just going to head in a straight line towards this base. I'm never going to make it, but I'm going to give it my best shot and gather materials on the way. Meanwhile, we are happily speculating about what's coming up in Season 2. Yeah, I've done that before, Chudamaru, actually. I've found little caches of gold and things like that and kind of recalled the ship, put a few tons up in there. I tend to be really lazy once I've transferred the first 2 tons, move the ship, so I don't have to travel back and forth. It is entirely possible. You can do it. But I'm not here for the gold. I don't need the gold. I've been working on my credit balance. Something I wanted to do before the new year was achieve a billion credits. I didn't get there. I got 750 million, which I'm still quite pleased with. But I didn't quite get to my goal. But never mind. Never mind. Plenty of time to make credits. I'll just borrow some off Toad. Oh, that was a suicide burn. That was perfect. Bitstorm, oh, you can reach it in Explorer Conda, but it needs a 37 light year minimum. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They looked like there was a big gap between those two. It's hard to tell from a distance. Oh, cool. I hope Cannon get there. Awesome. 600 kilometers. Yeah, see, Malik, exactly. Yeah, it's just peanuts. You know, 600 kilometers is nothing if you live in Oz. Gilsoy, I don't know when the next patch for Season 2 is going to hit. There might be another incremental patch in the next couple of weeks, maybe, for a couple of things that have been pointed out. I know there's a few people that are having some weird connection issues which are preventing them getting into the game, and it was important to get those kind of things patched as quickly as possible. But obviously Frontier have pretty much been on skeleton staff for these last week, which you can imagine. I mean, most companies are. My company was as well. But 2.1, I'm going to speculate that we'll see 2.1 early Feb, I'm going to guess. I hope so anyway, because I really want to see the looting and crafting system. Heragon, I wonder if there'd be a challenge to circumnavigate a small moon. I hope so. I did ask someone about this, and I found a moon which I think had a radius of 134 kilometers. It certainly would be possible to circumnavigate that one. The only problem is, I mean, you can see this planet has a surface gravity of 0.99 g. That one had like virtually no gravity. It was a fraction. I think it was 0.06 or 3 or something like that. It was very, very low. So it would be a lot more difficult to circumnavigate that planet. Is the only problem. But I want to give it a go. I want to give it a go. Chadamaru, yes, character creation is going to be absolutely awesome. Last time I popped into the office, I think I saw some of it on the screens and didn't even realise what I was seeing, which was ironic, you know. Oh, I think we got a shiny. Let's stop. Ooh, shiny. I'm sorry, my voice is wrecked today. Oh, sorry, did I miss a question there? Try to do some patches up, but your gun doesn't want to shoot. Yeah, I think DJ said you might have to check the settings on the right-hand side. Well, no, so I mean, you shouldn't have to do it for that. I mean, what I found with the turrets is that there still seems to be a weird issue with the turret, the data link scanner, that you can't use it unless you have the deploy on fire option on. It still seems to be a bit of a problem. Oh, yoink, yoink, definitely grabbing that. That's the good stuff, that's what we want. Oh, my voice is screwed. Gilsoy, I am mostly back with my feet on the ground now. Like I said at the start, I haven't got as many bits of inside information that I know, but still, I've seen some things. I've seen some cool things. There's some great stuff coming up in Season 2. I did know about the character creator before it was announced, which was really awesome. I saw the buggies just before E3 this year, which was, I knew they were going to be great to play with. But as it stands at the moment, I'm kind of pretty much clueless on most of the things that are coming up, and I'm happy, to be honest, because it's going to be really exciting to see how all these things work. Particularly interested in the multi-crew stuff and the looting and crafting. It's going to be really, really cool. I love the idea of co-op, and I think after I've tried the Artemis Bridge Simulator game, which if you haven't tried that, definitely go and check out on YouTube or something. It is really great fun. I think I'm going to have to get a drink in a second. Heragon, I think it's the time of year. I think everyone's dying a death. Nothing else on there. DJ Targent, bet Kerrash Landing seen Thargoids. Yeah, I hope it does have that effect actually, DJ, because like I said, I mean, co-op play is great fun. I mean, I think I've been pretty honest saying that I'm never really been a fan of PvP. I don't like the idea of just destroying someone else in game. I don't feel like I've got anything to prove by doing that, and I hate the idea that I'm causing someone else to have a bad day. I don't mind the CQC because I think everyone's kind of on a level playing field and they're all kind of willingly accepting that, yeah, I'm putting myself in this position because I want some exciting combat. That's the whole point. So I think if you're accepting that you want to play PvP, then that's fine. But sorry. But the idea that of getting out into open and doing PvP has never really appealed to me. But whereas working together in any kind of co-op thing, absolutely love it. You just got to look at the community goals. It's just wonderful to kind of see other players going around trying to help meet a common goal. I love that. I think that's really great. And multi-crew's just going to enhance that, I think. Germanium. Yeah, Germanium, that'll do. Grab some of that. Oh, one more. Just one more rock. Just one more rock. Shanray, yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, I've done over 100 kilometers and not a single McDonald's, not even a Starbucks either. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. Niobium, yum nom 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 nom. That's what I want. That's the good stuff. That's what we need for those big jumps. So yeah, I'm gathering as many of the materials as I can for the big jumps because that's absolutely what I'm planning on doing this year. I'm gonna head off around the galaxy. A big exploration trip again. I've done the trip to Sagittarius A. I'm open to suggestions on it. I was thinking circumnavigating might be a little bit of a while to do that. Maybe traveling up the main arm. Earth is that? I think that's my dog. Of the galaxy, maybe traveling along the arm of the galaxy would be a fun thing to do. So. Yes, hello Andy, Happy New Year, nice to see you. I should be giving it a rest, I know, but I refuse to let it beat me. I could not miss the first crash landing of the year, even if I sound like crap. Gilsoy, so if you've completely missed out on this one, I'll just quickly show you on the screen there. So these materials that I'm smashing out of these rocks, I'm gathering them so I can do these FSD injections here. And you've got these three levels of abilities, so each one gives you a bonus. You can see there, just a bit there, see additional 25% distance, this one's 50, and these ones are 100. So this particular planet has got good concentrations of arsenic, niobium and polonium. So I'm attempting to find all of those materials so I can give myself nice big jumps, so I can effectively double my FSD jump range. If I go over into the galaxy map, I can show you really quickly. Not logged in lately, that's fine. So there's new functions we got over here. We can trigger the FSD boost, pick the level, and then we can plot a route with... did I pick the right one? Come on. Fastest route, no, FSD boost. Oh no, it's because I can't show you because I'm in the SRV, sorry. But yeah, effectively what that allows you to do is you can double your jump range for a single jump, so you can reach places that have not been reached before, which is really, really cool, and I must go out and do that. I need to gather all the materials first, hence why I'm scouring the surface of this planet to find these rare materials. Exactly, Horny. I said that I was doing the logical, sensible thing for the rest of humanity. I was quarantining myself to this abandoned moon so that no one else could catch the lurgy from me. You did do some pirating, did you, Shannon? I think the only time I've done some pirating, I think, was with Mad Dog. He convinced me to join the dark side. I see, personally, I haven't got a problem with pirating. Like you said, the whole kind of just picking off their shields, getting their cargo and that kind of stuff, using the hatchbreaker controller for the limpets for what they're for. That stuff is great. I think the problem is pirating walks too close to the line of you get the people that then just destroy people just because they can and they're there and they're weak, which is it's a real shame because it spoils it. I mean, piracy can add like a really exciting level of risk to the game, and it's nice that it's a possibility. I think when it's done right, it's really cool. I've had a couple of pirates stop me. And I kind of explained to him, like, I've got no cargo, I've got nothing to give you, and he goes, very well, be on your way, let us not cross paths again, and had a really nice kind of role-play moment with people doing that, and I think that's a nice touch to the game. So I haven't got anything against piracy. I think I just don't like people who don't pirate properly, or who don't do it well, because it just kind of gives piracy a bad name and causes arguments. Whoop, this is getting a bit bumpy around here. Oh dear. Yeah, this is kind of smart. The trick is the old suicide burn. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that was not how to do it. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the term, but it's a typical thing that you hear, like NASA. The idea of a suicide burn is you leave the thrusting until the very, very last second, so you use the minimum amount of fuel to actually land on the ground safely. If you thrust too early, you tend to waste your fuel just kind of feathering. You want to effectively decelerate it at the rate so that you reduce your speed down to 0 just as your wheels touch the ground. That's the idea. Idea way of doing it. Oh, sorry, I missed a bunch of chat then. I was happily skimming across the surface. Turtle247, are you playing in open play? Currently I'm in open play. There's virtually no risk of driving on the surface, although, like I said, I did manage to get to 750,000 credits, and that half a billion credits I traded entirely in open without any issues, so it is possible to do it without running into pirates and getting griefed. It is possible. Will we see a community gold? Community gold to bring medical supplies to Crash. I need something. That would be an interesting mission. Lone pirate lost on a surface, and if you go down and save him, you end up catching the lurgy and spreading it all over the galaxy. It's got a rare space flu. Snake Man PNC, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the idea of piracy, but yeah, it's just when it descends into griefing, which it too easily does, too often, it ruins the whole idea of it. I liked the idea that there are people out there that wanting to steal your stuff and have that risk of running away from them. It's exciting, it is, but yeah, it's the internet. You know what people are like. Subsync, I can't remember if it was subsync or not. It might have been Animus, I'm not sure. Sorry, let me just... Can I do a corkscrew jump? I can try, Gil, so yeah, if we head to another crater, I'll give it a go. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it's not, unfortunately, it's not just a cold. I have actually got... Oh crikey! I need to take some more. I should have took some at 10. I've got antibiotics. I've got a upper respiratory infection or something like that, which is nice. Gotta love it. Dark's Mag saying like Care Bear Pirate. Yeah, I'm somewhere in between all of it. I like a little bit of everything. What have we got on the scanner? I think it's another missile to right. Oh, that sucks. Whereas you got killed and opened by some guy in a Viper. Yeah. See that was the thing. There's no interaction. It's no point. It just feels forced, and it's an annoyance. You know, there's no. They're not gaining anything by doing it because they would have got a very minimal bump in their combat rank or whatever, if at all. They're not gaining any credits from doing it to you because you've got no bounty on your head. There is no point. I got targeted very early on at the start of last year, and I found out afterwards that it literally was because the group were aware of me and what I've done towards the game, so they knew who I was. As soon as a couple of members saw me in the game, they just chased me and attacked me across several systems just because it was me. And for me, that kind of spoils the whole point of the game. It's like if I had a bounty on my head, if I was, you know, actively opposing your faction or something, fair enough. I think I'm really going to have to put the brakes on things and get a drink. I'm dying of death at the moment. But if everyone does want to hang around for a little bit, I will come back very shortly. What I'll do though, see if we can go back. Yeah, let's see if we can play that video again, because I think that video deserves all the airtime it can get. It's really awesome. So for those of you who are just joining in, there's a nice video which is in the newsletter this week where someone's recreated the intro from the prequel, and they've got it side by side. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on stream for you guys, and I'll be back in a second. Is it still buffering? It is still buffering, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I don't know why that's doing that. It was working perfectly fine before I started the stream. It just goes to show it doesn't matter how many tests you do. It's just not gonna do it. Oh, thank you, Andy. Put the link up, and I was just about to copy that in there. Good thing to end on, Shanna. Yeah, I should leave that on. So I do want to point this out, actually, if there is anyone who hasn't already read in the newsletter. Actually, the trailer competition is still live until the end of this month, so it's worth checking that out to make a trailer for Horizons. Crimsonheim, 62% pure flat rock. Oh, pure platinum. Oh, right, you must be mining. Awesome. Ooh. I think I missed out on all of these things on there, but never mind. Ooh, what's that there, DJ? Ah, the Cayman. Yeah, see, that's the problem. There's a lot of history in the game, like we said. There's so many things which I don't know whether they're going to be able to squeeze all of that into the game. You know, coming up with different races. It would be nice to see lots of different variation in the races. Of course, we all know about the Thargoids, but the original novella that came with the game had a lot of different races that were mentioned in it. So it would be nice to see a big variation of different ships on there. No, still nothing juicy. Ah, cool, you downloaded it. Nice one, Andy. Yeah, it's unfortunate it's not playing right for everyone tonight, but it is really, really cool, and it's nice to have that picture-in-picture, so you can kind of compare it to the original. It's really nice that they managed to choreograph it quite close to the original as well, which is nice. Jazz has no, you weren't watching YouTube, don't worry. MW Aura, greetings and Happy New Year. Let's see how far I can get. Get as far as I can tonight. I know it's past the time that I would normally stream. I don't know if there's any other streamers on at the moment. Perhaps we can go over it. We can gate Kerrash them. If there are any other streamers playing Elite at the moment, I'll happily give them a host. And Andy, I think you finished up for the night, haven't you, my friend? Ah, yes, good point there, DJ. There's things out there that even the Thargoids fear. Absolutely. See, everyone thinks that Thargoids are the bad guys. Or the bad girls, I should say. They're the least of my worries. You're going on in 15, are you? Okay. Okie dokie. I will keep going. I think my voice can hold out for another 15 minutes. Missed one, didn't I? Where was it? Come on. Is it? Oh, where is it? Shiny. See, I really should be taking more notes on these things, because the problem is that I tend to guess that these things seem to be more likely to appear near craters. I tend to get the things I want near craters, but that's entirely me kind of guessing at it and speculating, not really any scientific basis to it. I really should take notes on where I'm finding these things. You do tend to find on some of these planets, as you're up in orbit, you can see kind of regions of different colours and things like that, where there's been geological activity and stuff. And I really need to do some more samples. I think the best way to do it is kind of go on a single planet and spend like an hour in one region and then another hour in another region, and kind of comparing the abundance of different materials, kind of figuring out if there's some kind of significant factor on the regions of the planet, you know, the different kind of formations of things, whether that gives you different different concentrations of the materials. DJ, that's why you explore with weapons now. Yeah, I see. I am kind of thinking I want to head off in my Explorer Conda, but I'm kind of apprehensive about whether to do it with a fully Explorer equipped hollowed out ship with, you know, I mean, even just the simple things like landing on planets now, it's like you really need at least the lowest shields you can fit, so that you don't end up with constant bumps and scratches from landing. So I don't think it is possible to land on most planets without at least taking a percent or two when you've got no shields on. I found that during the beta. Crossbow, greetings, Happy New Year. DJ Targent, if Thargoids are insectoids, you think that our exoskeleton bodies would fear anything which could overheat them? See now, anytime you say anything that I shouldn't say, I'm just going to nod and grin. I'm not going to say anything. Not going to say anything. Rocksteady, yes, that is entirely a possibility. The coloration of the planets is based entirely on the chemical composition of them in that region of space. What the guys have done with the simulation is they actually calculated the concentration of different materials in different regions of space. So things like nebulas tend to be richer in the heavier elements, because obviously the nebulas are formed by exploding supernova and stuff like that. So it's entirely possible that the coloration of the planets will give you a hint of the types of materials that you would find on it in their natural forms. So yeah, there's a lot of subtle little bits of information which a lot of people miss, but it is actually accurate. Doesn't surprise me really, because after talking with David on a lot of these things, I can see that he is really passionate on making these things as accurate as possible. You know, like we've seen a couple of the rocky planets which have what looks like mist or fog on those surfaces, which is from the organic compounds being kicked up and heated by the local star. Of course, that only happens in the right circumstances, with the right materials, under the right distance with the star, because of the temperature and that kind of stuff. But it is really awesome. It is really awesome. Shenray, yes, sorry, that was something else I was going to say. Thank you. Yeah, if you're planning on going out and exploring, you need to make sure your thrusters are capable of running on high G worlds as well. Again, that was something that I was trying to put D-rated everything on my ship to increase the jump range, and then realizing that I'm really going to cause myself problems by trying to land on these planets. It's kind of, it is a big consideration now. You can't just go for full jump range when you're exploring. So I think I'm going to have to up the thrusters a little bit and lose that. In the moment I've got 40 light year jump range on my loadout, I think I'm going to have to lose that magic 40 number and just put on some better materials. Where have you seen that, DJ Tartan? I'm not going to... Based on the study of wrecked ships, Thargoids as a race seem to have a very smart approach to furnishing and belongings. Crew quarters are particularly devoid of possessions and other those necessary for military crew. All belongings are functional and necessary. I don't know where you've read that from, but that seems in contradiction to what I know. Oh, Sorry, what's that point of... Yes, point of interest 2 kilometers above, yes. Yes, so you can, yeah, when you're flying around 2 kilometers, you'll see those big blue zones on the scanner, and that will be some kind of point of interest. Usually something like a crashed ship or some man-made object, because the ships don't have sensitive enough scanners to find these rare materials that I'm looking for. Rocksteady, yes, 40 light years is crazy. You can just about do it on an Anaconda if you sacrifice everything else. Better still, if you gather the right materials like I have here, then on the premium FSD injection I can get in a bonus 100% distance. So effectively I can have an 80 light year jump in an Anaconda, but I need to get to a location where it's going to be worthwhile doing that. So I'm going to go right out to the edge of the galactic disk where there's stars that no one else could ever have reached yet, and I'm just going to jump to them because I can and I want to. It's not going to get any credits for it, I doubt. Might not make it back. I don't care. I want to. I'm blazing my own trail. That's what this year is going to be all about for me. It's just doing the crazy crap because I can. Yeah, Shanray, I don't know if you remember me way back when I first started Kerrash Landing. I had a go at landing a Lion transport on a high G world, and that was near on impossible. I had to back the thing on to get on it. Dobbo, you've just reminded me. Yes, that is not a good idea, is it? Oh dear. I've got a Coke as well. I can have my Coke. Not a good idea. Really shouldn't have done that. Thank you. I'm not thinking straight. Yeah, it might do, Shanray. That's what I mean. It's like, I want to go out on a big exploration trip. I don't know how far to go and how long to be out. I'm kind of worried that there's going to be cool stuff coming, and then I won't be around civilized space to refit my ship and kind of see it. But of course there's going to be betas and things of the various updates, so if it is worth coming back to civilized space, you know, in my beta save game I can self-destruct and get back to civilized space, give it a try. If I enjoy it enough, then it might warrant coming back to civilized space to see it. Murwaz, yes, absolutely. Again, I proving a point there. 1-to-1 scale. As insane as it is, yes, I have now driven nearly 200 kilometers across the planet, and yes, it is still going. It is 1-to-1. Fuel reserves critical. There we go. There we go. And I found loads of stuff. And I've just been driving in a straight line, and I've just found all these crazy things. Oh crikey, you've got 30,000 data points there, Andy, jeez. I've not really been concentrating on doing those kind of things, actually. I just kind of like, more of a kind of opportunistic play. I always just kind of stumble across things like, oh, that's fun. Oh, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, and completely forget about it. I think the, you know, I've been working on my trade rank. Like I said, I wanted to try and get to 1 billion credits, but I missed out. What have we got here? It's just a bunch of gold, I think. It's just gold. Just a few tons of gold. Yeah, that was the trade rank is the first thing which I've really been kind of knuckling down and trying to get that 100%ed. Is that a word? Yeah. But you know, I want to make a point of that. Actually, that's one of the things that I think it really bugs me when I see people say about trading is grinding and things like that. I don't see it as a grind. I see it as a challenge. You know, there is no reason for me to get to that level of money other than just being able to say that I did and I managed it myself. And that for me is the whole point. It's a challenge. It's setting yourself this test of endurance. Can I do it enough to get that level, you know, of that 1 billion credits, that 100% elite rank on trading? And if you don't want to do that, fine, don't do it. It's fine. But it's not about just grinding the credits for the sake of the credits. I have no idea what I'm going to do with all that money I've got now. I could buy a Corvette if I wanted to. I'm not really fussed about the big ships. I quite like the little ships. So it's no purpose other than the fact that I set myself that goal and I wanted to do it. I wanted to achieve it. So it's not a grind. It's a test of endurance. I think they do, Chedamaru actually, yeah, data point scans, I think they all add towards your Explorer rank. Oh no, Grazzini! Did you just lose your SRV? Mine's down 55%, I didn't realise. I nearly demolished this thing. Yeah, Shanray, see that's the thing I've noticed as well, once you get to that elite trade rank as well, you also get crazy missions which offer like stupid rewards for doing it. I think once you get to that point, I mean money is no object anyway, so gathering even more money, it's the game kind of realises at that point it's like, well, you might as well just have it, you know. You're just gathering money for the sake of money at that point, which is fine. Oh, 50%, oh dear. Crikey, I didn't realise that actually. I should get more data points then. But I wasn't focusing on the exploration for tonight. Tonight I really just wanted to travel as far as I could across this planet. It'll be nice once I get there. I'll have to get up in the ship again and see how far I've gone from one side to the other. Because I picked a static point on the surface right at the start. There, Nixon Enterprise, 263 kilometers I've travelled. We know you like money, Toad. What are you at now? Like it's 4 billion nearly, is it? I only know of one other person that has more money than Toad. And no, it's not the Galactic Intern. It's another genuine player. Not someone who has Daddy's credit card to give them 61 billion credits. Oh no, no. One more shiny over here. Oh, what's it? Andy, are you getting ready to... Sorry, I didn't realise it's 10:30 already. 4.2 billion. My goodness. Cornelius wants it has 12 billion? Gee whiz. Exactly, Andy. Yeah, we've got the stats on the side, and that's what I'll do. So I've now travelled 700 kilometres in an SRV. Why? Because I can. What does it give me? Nothing but a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. That's what I wanted. Again, I mean, it all comes down to that statement. I think it was difficult to understand early on, but you know, the whole idea of blazing your own trail, it literally is, you know, do what you want. That's what it's about. Yeah, exactly, Commander John. What's the point in 12 billion? You can have an entire fleet of Corvettes. Have I beat you, Toad? Have you done 700 kilometres? Have I beat you? I must have at least one thing over Toad. You know, being triple elite and all. Oh no, that's not fair, Toad. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put the drive assist on. And I'll just leave my buggy going in a straight line. What do you spend the rest on? Outfitting it. Outfitting. Well, I suppose 1.5 billion you could outfit a cutter, pretty much maximum. What can you buy on? More ships, Commander Jan. Loads of ships. Have one of each ship and each different skin. Why not? That is something I'd like to do, actually. I'd like to get to the point where I've got at least one of each ship that I can just call up. Which will become even more interesting once we get the ability to call the ships to your locations, obviously. Need your battle conda at the ready. Drop the battle conda. Okay, Andy, thank you for tuning in. I will wrap up the stream and send everyone over your way very shortly. Oh, only 500 kilometers per grand. I don't think I'm going to make that. 4.5 hours is the ETA on that. Yes, Happy New Year to you, Andy. What have we got here? I think it's an outcrop. I keep seeing shiny things. Is that an outcrop? Yeah, it's an outcrop. Not finding anything. Not finding anything. I don't know, Shan. I'm not sure how far people have got in CQC. I've seen a bunch of people that have prestiged a few times. So yeah, I know Merwaz. I knew I wasn't going to make it, but I just wanted to go as far as I could. But yeah, I don't know if anyone has managed to achieve elite rank in CQC yet. It's something I want to give a go at some point. I think when I'm out exploring, I can definitely use that as a bit of a distraction in between. So I might do a little bit of both at the same time. A DJ, oh, you got a cutter for trade? Yeah, I'd really like to get a cutter for trade. I don't have the Imperial rank. Wow, dangerous in CQC, that's crazy. See you later, honey. Thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year. Ah, thank you, the real Duck of Death. There's at least one commander who's elite in CQC. Excellent. I probably could call the guys for the stats, but Crossbow 7. Yes, different ships for different jobs. Yeah, I'm in my SRV at the moment, but I got here in my Explorer ASP. Because I love the ASP for exploring, it's awesome. But I do have a Conda for trading, which is the best I can get at the moment because I haven't got the rank for the cutter. But the cutter is definitely the absolute trade machine, the ultimate trade machine. I tend to have quite a few little ships. I love the Eagle for just pulling stunts and things like that, racing around things. I put a little video out on YouTube just last week, I think it was. I wasn't going to publish it, but I thought, I'll give it away. It was some rough footage flying down in a base. It's on my YouTube channel. I think I got the link below. I found that it was possible to fly underneath the little like billboard banners that goes over the roads. I mean, these roads are designed for SRVs, but you could actually fly under them in an Eagle, which is insane. And you could do some really cool stunts as you flew around the base, but it's just great fun. Flying close to the ground in a fast ship like an Eagle or a Cobra or something like that is insanely fun. It feels like pod racing or something like that. It's just really, really good. I hope that some commanders make an event out of it. It'd be really, really awesome. Crossbow, keep them all in one place. I've got them kind of scattered out at the moment. I did have them all in Shinarta Desert at one point, but I did scatter them out. Yeah, the real duck. Yeah, I believe him. I'm naively trusting like that. I don't doubt it. But I mean, like I said, I could always give Ed Lewis or someone a shout at Frontier anyway, and they could go check the stats for me. So it's not come up in conversation. When I chat to him next, I will ask him, because I would have thought if someone had managed to achieve it, they would have made a big deal over it. Because I know there's an event planned for CQC coming up, a real life event, real people. Person, not just on the internet. Oh my goodness, DJ, I didn't realise you're King DJ, my liege. Yeah, I'd like to get to the Imperial rank. King Crash has a nice ring to it. I've got to get that. Oh, okay, so I missed the loop on this now, DJ. What on earth did Sandro tease about the Mamba? You're saying it's a racing ship. I want to know now. I really want to know it because I do like my fast, fun ships. I completely missed the bit which Sandro said about that, and I haven't had a chance to check back on the live stream. Montax, yeah, I wonder what we'll be playing with Elite on January the 1st, 2017. Or what do you mean, January the 1st, 3303, you mean? I hope at the end of this year we're going to see some form of FPS. I really want to see that, just the ability to move around between ships and things like that, even if it's just the most basic things, walking down the corridors. I love the idea of being more kind of being able to get more connected to your ship, feel more kind of, for it to feel more custom and personal, and you know what I mean. That so being able to get and walk around in your ship, and put all your spare bobbleheads in the back and things like that. I love the idea of that. Oh, you didn't say much more about the Mamba. That's a shame. The Mamba is coming. Beer-wise, NZ, the probability of first person is under 1%. Care to quote a source on that? Bearing in mind I have at least 3 or 4 contacts in Frontier that I could call it up, right? Is that speculation? I mean, if that's what you think, that was fine. I think personally that would make sense that they would be the next big move for them to do, is to get kind of that feature parity with what other people are expecting the game to have, because a lot of people are asking for it, a lot of people want that ability to do it, and it makes sense that we've got these surfaces and everything that you can walk around on there. You've got these big bases. At least being able to get out of your SRVs and walk around wouldn't be too much of a big addition. I doubt you're going to be able to walk around in every single building and on the stations and on the things like that, but speculation, that's okay. Beer is I think it's entirely possible. I know that the ships themselves have gone under a lot of restructuring for various reasons. The new ships in 1.5 and 2.0, they have the fighter launch bay on the bigger ships now, so they've undergone a lot of restructuring internally to fit things like that, and the SRV bay and stuff in. So it would make sense that something that Frontier could work on would be the internal structure of the ship. I mean, it's what I want. Goodness knows whether we'll actually see that, but I would love to. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine us going down inside bases like there, for example, but being able to walk around them and maybe hijack one of the sentry turrets briefly or something. You can imagine walking up to it and hacking it, turning one of the sentry turrets on its own or something like that. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I reckon so, Toad. Yeah, getting FPS before atmospheric flight. I think we'll see a bunch of different planet types come in this year. Different types of volcanic activity and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Planets with different geysers and things like that on volcanic activity and stuff. I think that's going to be really cool. That I imagine we'll see this year. But atmospheric stuff. Well, it depends what you mean by atmosphere. I mean, I think some of the simpler atmosphere types, the thin atmospheres and things like that, would be entirely possible. I think when people think about atmospheric flight, they're thinking Earth-like worlds. Earth-like worlds I do not think we're going to see this year. They are massively complex. They require a huge amount of detail and resources going into creating those, so I doubt we're going to see those this year. Exactly, Shan. That is entirely my thought there. We've not had the speculation already. We haven't, have we? Hang on, yes. Where's my my speculation's gone. Where is it? I've lost my speculation banner. I had to reset my settings, so I've lost my speculation. Sorry, Darksmack. I will put it back up for the next stream. Absolutely makes sense for Season 3 and for Frontier to push for it. Whether it's doable, I don't know. Certainly not less than a percent. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Frontier can do first person. They were working on the Outsider. They've got the content and the ability. They've got the technical ability to do it. Oh, metallic meteorite. Ooh. Speculation halt. I can't scream. I really can't scream. There we go. Was there another? No. But yeah, I mean, they definitely can do first-person level of content. I mean, look at something like Scream Ride and Zoo Tycoon on the Xbox One, for example. I mean, that sort of content is well within the grasp of the engine. It is literally just a case of them deciding what is going to be the most important feature to get over. And Shanray, yeah, exactly. That's kind of my thinking as well. Elite needs to have the same feature list as the other space game when it comes out, and you can say Star Citizen. Remember, I have backed it. I am looking forward to playing Squadron 42. It's not illegal to say it. Crossbow 7. Yeah, we're talking about first person walking around inside the ships and things like that. It is absolutely planned. It's something that Frontier want to do, but they've not given a deadline on when it's going to be hitting or anything like that. Like I said, I really hope this year. I mean, it would, for me, I think it would kind of be the icing on the cake of the core functionality of where the game wants to be and feature-wise. Because when you think about it, I mean, you look at what came in Season 1, we had a whole bunch of feature improvements from the original 1.0 release that came out up to 1.5. We had a whole bunch of things added in here. Power play, CQC, wings, community goals, all those kind of things took the original base concept from 1.0 and enhanced it. At the same time, in the background, Frontier were working on 2.0, which was all these planet landing things that we see, which obviously we knew nothing about that. That was being worked on at the same time. So I think it's entirely possible, we're going to see the same kind of things. Michael Brooks has said that 2.0, all of the updates for that are going to be things which is kind of like gameplay additions and stuff like that. I do see the 2.x updates as being, cool things being added in, like multi-crew, the commander creator, hopefully some different planet types coming later in the year as well, that kind of stuff. But definitely 3.0, I can imagine that they are already hashing that all out, and they're going to be working on that side by side with 2x stuff. Chadamaru, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy just being able to walk around the ships as well, to be honest. I don't know how long it's going to be before we can do other more detailed things. I'd love to be walking around inside the stations. I don't see that being anytime soon, though. It takes a long time to build all this content, that's the problem. I'm trying to catch up, sorry. Absolutely, Toad, you hit the nail on the head. PC hardware needs to catch up before we can have all of these really cool things like landing on Earth. Yeah, it's taken a heck of a lot of a hit on system resources to do it. I mean, that's proof in the fact that I've seen literally dozens and dozens of people on Facebook upgrading their PCs to be able to play Horizons, because it does really kill your machine. Well, that's a bad way of putting it. It's has much more of an impact on the machine than other things, because it's all being procedurally generated, obviously. Yeah, I think that's going to be cool as well, Crossbow. I like the idea of landing on these volcanic planets and then being completely chaotic, horrible places. Sorry, just catching up on there. Well, I mean, hopefully Beweers, NZ, I mean, they definitely can do it. I don't know whether, I think We could all guess if and when it might appear. Honestly, don't know, but it is certainly possible. It is certainly possible they can do it. Yeah, DJ, exactly. Yeah, the new GPUs coming up this year are going to be a huge evolutionary leap. I think. With, you know, I didn't really want to go that way. I'm gonna have to repair again in a second. Yeah, so there's going to be a massive improvement in what's possible with GPUs coming up this year. So hopefully that will be enough. But then again, we have to wait until we've all caught up with our hardware as well. We can't just expect everyone to have the best hardware, and that's the problem at the end of the day, is getting people to catch up. Otherwise, you're going to be alienating a large proportion of the potential community. Yeah, sorry, Merwaz, if I'm catching up on it, I kind of using the wrong words. Hence why I see I'm not the sort of guy you put in front of someone doing an article on the game, because I tend to splurt the wrong words. But no. DJ, yes, exactly. The year of VR. I hope so. It's looking pretty promising, although I was rather disappointed to find out that the Oculus Half Moon controllers aren't going to be appearing until the second half of this year, which seems kind of crazy. I suppose it's because they've not long created the damn thing, so they need to give developers time to play with them and make interesting experiences. Beweers, actually, Beweer NZ, you might have missed right at the start. I was saying that I've just upgraded my machine. I've got the same GPU I had before, but I've upgraded from an original Core i7-920 up to a 6th gen Core processor, and it has made a huge difference in my frame rate. I think the thing you have to take into consideration with the way that the Cobra engine works is a lot of content generation going on the fly, so it is heavier on the CPU usage, so you really need to have a system which is balanced in all areas. I've seen quite a few people with similar problems where they've got a pretty decent GPU, but the rest of their hardware is kind of lagging behind, having similar issues with their frame rate absolutely dying on the planet's surfaces. I think it is down to factors like that the rest of your machine might not be up to the case, so it's worth checking that out. I'm not sure what CPU you have. Oh my goodness. He found me. I don't know how he found me, but he found me. If he blows me up. How on earth did you find me down there? Commander Marcus Cross, everyone. Fair play. It proves I am in open. There we go. See, it works. He managed to find me. Probably looking at the coordinates on my ship, actually. On my SOV. Oh, night, Dobbo. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the void, Commander. Oh, MMMK, I don't want to get onto that whole thing. The whole graphics thing. Oh no, seriously, don't start with the whole ring. It's nothing to do with the Xbox version. I know for a fact because I've spoken to the guys directly at Frontier. It's nothing to do with that. The rings that rendered before that whole change was done they were wrong. They were overexposed. They shouldn't have been as bright as they were. And they scaled them back to what they should be. Everyone misinterpreted what that meant and come up with their own bullshit reasons why they thought that was, and it's entirely not. So don't listen to all of the crap that you read on the internet, because it's wrong. That's the only thing I can say. Oh, that's a pretty good CPU actually. We got an i5 3570K. It's only being half used. Yeah, I mean, again, it's really, really difficult to. It's really difficult to find. Ooh, what on earth? What is that? Is that a secret base over there? Yeah, I mean, I found that, like I said right at the start again, the utilization of your CPU is often not a great measure of everything. You can't. It might not be the utilization that's a problem. It might be the feature set of your CPU and the latency for it to respond to a certain request, causing your frames to drop. It could be that the cache isn't big enough, so that it isn't queuing up enough things in there. There are so many factors on there. So, you know, even if your CPU has quad core, it's entirely possible that it could run the game, but it might mean that you have severe frame issues. So it is really difficult to get it right. There are so many factors. It's difficult for me to even explain it. Oh, I think. Yes, Marcus Cross looked at my coordinates and found me that way. Nice work. Nice work. Sorry, MMMK. No, I wasn't treating that as a. It wasn't flaming in any way. It. See, the problem is everyone's estimation of what everyone thought that it got worse. Everyone kind of looked at it and said it looked better like this, but it's entirely subjective. It's like when you look at the mods that have come out for things like Skyrim, for example. There's a lot of people that will get mods for Skyrim which throw shaders. I mean, sweet effects and things like that. People like throw shaders at the game to make it look the way they think it should look. You know, extra contrast and upping the colours and all that kind of stuff. People will do crazy things to their games to make it look the way they think is good, and it's entirely speculation. The rings looked brighter and more exposed and stuff like that, and some people interpreted that as looking better. But effectively, it was a rendering bug. There was a massive amount of overdraw, and they shouldn't have been rendered that way. So it's the idea of them looking good is entirely a speculative thing. One second. Sparrowback. Also, the original rings had fog everywhere. The new shaders only place fog where the overall texture of rings, which you see from compared, looks dense. People on forums compared the screenshots of the tutorials where the fog was much less dense than the region where the original tutorial was, and presumed a downgrade. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Damn. I am so ill. Yeah, again, that's the thing. People made a bunch of bad comparisons. There was some of them where people had compared screenshots from completely different grazing angles of the lighting, and that, which I think Mad Dog explained very well. Again, it was all speculative, based on people's impressions, and you know, it just got really silly, but really quickly. Midnight Wyvern, yeah, exactly. People just like to cause drama on the internet. That is the way. I know that very well, being a moderator on the forums. A lot of the stuff that you read on there, there is no point to it other than people trying to get a rise out of other people. The best thing to do is just ignore them. If they're going to be an idiot, no point even trying to correct them, because it's a losing battle. Dead 1T, I maybe contact their customer support if you... I did originally try to get a refund from them a while back. They declined it, and I didn't really see the point anyway, so I'm keeping my copy. I look forward to playing Squadron 42 when it's out, but I have not attempted to chase up on that since. But if you feel like you need to get a refund, I think to check out the website, maybe there's contact support details. I honestly don't have them, so I don't know, sorry. Sorry, I missed the stuff about. Yeah, I mean, Darksmack has got a point. Yeah, I mean, it is an unfinished game. It's an alpha, you know, so it's might not be for you. Might not have enough level of polish for your liking. But I mean, it's entirely up to you. I mean, that's the thing at the end of the day. Oops. My ship is going nuts. Sorry, I keep saying ship. I'm so used to doing ships. I've tried the various incarnations of Star Citizens. I've hit the same crazy bugs that other people have seen and things like that. The 2.1 stuff, which it's got some pretty cool things in it. The ideas that they've got there are really, really interesting based on what they're trying to do. I think the missions in particular are pretty cool. Going around and fixing the comm satellites and stuff like that. It does look pretty interesting. But yeah, at the moment I can understand why some people would think, oh, this is unfinished. That's kind of how a lot of games are. You're having these early access games, so. But it's entirely up to you. If you don't feel like it's for you, then... Stephanos, greetings, Commander! Sparrow Black, you'd like to see a pirate base built into a large asteroid in the rings? Well, you're in luck, because the executive producer, Michael Brooks, he would like to see that as well. In fact, that's one of his favourite images in the concept art, so it will eventually be a thing, I imagine. It's just a case of finding the spare time to do it in amongst all the, you know, building an entire galaxy. Commander Jan, I think my voice is getting a little better, yeah. I think exercising it a little bit today has helped. What's that? Okay, the concerns of other people. Let me try and explain it in a way, MMK, which doesn't say. I'm not trying to be condescending. What it is, everything that you read on the internet is someone else's opinion. Now, my issue I take with any of the stuff that I read is the presentation of that opinion is key. I said right at the very start of the stream that we had something similar to that, where one person presented something and ranted and raved about it and made it sound like the world was ending and they demanded their money back and yada 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 and all this sort of stuff. They got promptly flamed and ignored, and they caused drama because they presented their opinion in a stupid way. Literally the day after, someone asked for the same thing. They did it in a polite and civil and respectful way and presented it with solid information to back it up. They were kindly thanked, and that feature was then added into the game. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about it being drama for the sake of drama or anything like that, or me fobbing off someone's opinion. I am more than happy for anyone to express their opinion on any aspect of the game. I know, not just this game, but anything really. There are things which I would love to see improved. I think things which are subpar in comparison to other features and so forth. I think it's just people really need to get over themselves thinking that they can get on the internet and just outright demand that something meets their expectations and rant and rave about it and just be downright rude. You know, when you think about it, the hundreds of people which are at Frontier, which have broken their back over the last few years to bring us a game, they want the game to be as awesome as they can. Do you think they don't feel disappointed or, you know, downtrodden where something doesn't come out as good as they want it to be? You know? again, sorry. Lager is improving my voice, yeah. That was the plan. Deadite, sorry, it's not a polished thing, you just don't seem to be... Yeah, I mean, everyone's got different tastes, and the way I look at Star Citizen, I see it as more of a cinematic kind of experience with like that whole, like, you know, player-focused storyline. Elite is more about that kind of vast, kind of evolving universe and everything like that. They're two different games. I mean, it's like comparing two different first-person shooters with different elements to them. They're the same genre, they have similar elements, but they have different feels to them each, so I can understand that. Tequila Sunrise, no idea when Horizons is releasing on Xbox. I wish I could tell you if I knew that. I could definitely ask people at Frontier, but they would probably give me the same answer that you would, to be fair. Marwaz, you know it would be bad PR if you perish on stream playing Elite. But I'm having fun, I'm in my buggy. I love my buggy. I see I've just gone below 500 kilometers as well. I mean, that's not a round number anymore. My OCD is telling me to press on. I'm wondering how well Commander Marcus Cross is doing. How's he doing? DJ, exactly. Opinions are like ourselves. Everyone's got one. Don't worry, MMK. I think it's yeah, it's exactly. It's hard to. It's the thing that annoys me the most about any kind of communication on the internet is you lose the emotion. You lose the subtle information that you'd get by just having a chat and taking the piss out of someone at the pub. You know, if you're kind of having a laugh with someone at the pub and you can kind of make fun of them and stuff like that sort of thing. Your face to face is different. As soon as you write it in text, you lose all of that emotion. You lose all of that, and things can escalate into an argument really quickly. And that's the problem I find with it. Talus469, greetings, Commander. How do you play? My goodness. How do I explain the Milky Way galaxy in 5 minutes? I would say check out streamers like me, like Fiery Toad. If you're not following Fiery Toad, follow him. He's awesome. He's in the chat. There is a lot of things you can do. You need to find something that you like doing in the game, and just go for it. It's very much a sandbox. The 3 key pillars of the game: you've got trading to make money, combat, which is exciting and fun, exploration because there are some really cool things to look at out there. You can try each one of those things early on in the game. Just experiment, try a few different things, and jump onto the forums and ask questions. Definitely, we can help you out. And as everyone else is saying now, do the tutorials, read the manuals. This is one of those games where you can't skip past the stuff. You have to look at it. Yes, good story there, Dr. Gnosis. Yeah, I've seen so many things on that before. I mean, we want nothing more on the forums than to allow people to be able to just have a friendly chat with each other, but it's just really, really difficult to do it. Bitstorm, I mentioned buggy variants before, please elaborate. I don't... David himself has mentioned how that they didn't want to call the SRV the buggy because they wanted to differentiate the fact that the SRV is a surface recon vehicle. That's what it's for. It's for doing recon. There are other roles that surface vehicles can play, so there will be more coming. You know, that's the point. Different types, different variations for different roles and purposes. Did I think? Oh, it's shiny. Oh, I've got to stop and look at it. Night Toad, sorry I missed you. Bye, sorry. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Let's stop and Crossbow, later. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, to starve it, yeah. See, this is the thing. Facebook is great for staying in contact with people, but just like anything on the internet, it just descends into madness really quickly because people don't apply logic and common sense. Moose 666. Walkers? Speculation alert? That would be pretty cool though, actually. Mech warrior in space. 400 billion planets. Stomping around in a giant walker. Frying bullet. If you go to the bigger bases, where they're in the populated systems, you will find they tend to have roads that go around internally inside the bases, but you won't see any roads like, you know, there's exclusively in the kind of where's my... Oh, there it is. You won't see any roads between places because there literally is too much surface area to cover. There's no point having roads, really. You can fly everywhere. I know, I've only done a third of the distance. I think I'm going to have to... I think I'm going to have to call it quits. Because I'm just not going to get there. Yeah, absolutely. It's far... See, another 500 kilometers. But there we go. But yes, I just wanted to prove a point. It is possible to travel ridiculous distances. I've managed to do 300 kilometers tonight, which I think is pretty good. They are one-to-one scale planets. You generally could spend the rest of your life just exploring a single planet, which is insane. Absolutely insane. Nowhere's to start, no. Glad to be of service, glad I can just share a little bit of knowledge here and there. I do want to try and amp up the stuff. I know last year we did start the questions to Frontier thing. I really want to try and amp that up this year, so if you do have any questions, please do send me through by the links below. You can get me on Twitter, send me a message in the Twitch chat, that kind of thing. I want to try and get more questions to Frontier. They love it as well. They love being able to answer your questions, and I can get them through to those guys as well, so they can answer your questions. So if you do have any crazy questions about things like that coming up, things that they can answer, you know, don't ask me about the Thargoids every time because they're going to say no. But if you do have some specific questions about things like the multi-crew and things like that, then maybe I can get those questions answered. So please do send those through to me, and I'll try and get those through to the guys to answer your questions for you. What's that? You can make it. If Mur was saying I should be able to make a road between where I went and where I made it to tonight. Call David and complain. Right? I know it's terrible. We need a road laying SRV. That's what we need. Yeah. Marriage Aiden, when we get passenger missions, yeah. Please send that on as a Twitch message so it stays in my inbox, and I'll remember to put that down because I really want passenger missions as well. There we go. But yes, please do send those in, and I'll get those through to the guys. So thank you very much for everyone who's joined in. I think if Andy is still going, we can head over to his chat. We can stream bomb him very shortly. Someone else has just found me. Oh no, Commander Marcus Cross has called his shipping. See a hyperspace jump on there. Worry, sat here in my little SRV and I see a ship jumping on there. So yes, let's quickly just see if we can find Andy's channel. I believe he's still going. There we go. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and host Andy if he's still going. Like I said, thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in. Please do come back. I try and do the stream every week, even if I'm really ill and losing my voice. I try my best to do every Friday at 8 till 10 at least this year. So much cool stuff coming in season 2. Cannot wait. I cannot wait. So thank you very much. Until next time, see you in the void, Commanders.